technology, razor sharp and luminous. Can't say that I'm not ambitious. And then a surge of adrenaline with an upon heart. We'll be running, head of state into the night.
Welcome to Brawlhalla.
Yo, everybody, my name is That Jerry Boy. We are here at the Spring Championship. It's an official tournament, ladies and gentlemen. And alongside me, I have Diz. Diz, how you doing today, man? It's good to see you again.
Hey man, I'm doing great. It's been a while since we casted together, that's for sure. But we're in a very, very official tournament, you know. We're those guys now. We're here, we're out here. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, like, we've been watching the brackets so far. A lot of cool games to come. Man, I'm just excited. I'm just excited. But hey, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'll be excited to see what happens. If this is more of a pre-stream, so we'll definitely see some of the games that come about before the official Brawlhalla stream. And we have a top 12 match here in the winners side of the bracket. And we have Asmodee up against Cheeseface. Now, Cheeseface, if you've been catching his Twitch stream at twitch.tv/CheesefaceBH, he just knocked out Zach the Boss and put him in the elimination side of the bracket 3-2 to get here against Asmodee. Obviously, Asmodee being PR number 1. She's going to be a bit of a challenge, but Cheeseface, look, he's a man that can live up to the expectation. And I'll definitely be excited to see how this comes about. Asmodee has already locked in the Artemis for us. Cheeseface most likely going to pick the Azoth if we expect him to maybe struggle against such a quick such a quick matchup, then he'll probably switch to something like the Hattori or the Koji, but I'll be excited.
Hey, we gotta see. I mean, like, we have some rumblings, and you were correct at least. We have the Zoth. We'll see if that changes throughout the game. That is, even his setup is horrifying. Oh my god, I do not want to be Asmodee right now, but I think she's fine. She's comfortable. Some map bans coming in. I mean, like, this is going to be a great set. Cheeseface has been definitely playing out of his mind up until this point in the tournament, so there's some stuff to see here, man. But as we get into this game one, man, Jerry, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. I am ready and rumbling. It's a bit interesting to see Asmodee on the Artemis. This is a pick that she has played before in tournaments, so it's not something completely out of the ordinary. She has a Scythe, she has a Lance, she's comfortable on both, and if you talk to Asmodee, she likes Lance into Axe, which a lot of people don't really prefer. Which it's a little bit of an interesting, take.
Yeah.
But, if she's comfortable on it and if she's happy to work with it, then she's fine. But right now, it's the Scythe that's cooking up. Cheeseface doesn't have anything. She gets the down air as well, and Cheeseface is gone already in less than 30 seconds.
Oh my lord. Well, that was a stock and a half. I mean, like, we haven't seen the Axe into Lance matchup yet, but the Scythe, with how the site's working right now, I'm not sure she's going to change. She's probably just going to keep going, because if you look at the damage difference right now, I mean, like, she was doing great for herself. Cheeseface wasn't just getting thrown around, but my lord.
Cheeseface gets the double dash somehow,
Cheeseface made a
touch
mistake.
The wall. That's not going to be good for the Cheeseface mental. Asmodee keeping the weapon away from Cheeseface. Already a minute on the clock, and Cheeseface is really struggling against this Asmodee Scythe. She hasn't even picked up the Lance once. And at the moment, the Scythe is just absolutely rummaging through Cheeseface at the moment. It's just, she's trying to look through the lost and found, and what's lost is Cheeseface's stocks right now. The GC does manage to hit the second part, finally catching, so game one, not a 3-stock for Asmodee, but Cheeseface is in the orange on his last stock, and he's gonna have to rummage through. Now Asmodee getting the last triple sideline catches the dodge, and Asmodee takes game one in incredible fashion.
Wow. Now, I said there were going to be some exciting games, but what did I just witness? That was insane.
Look, what we witnessed is Asmodee. That is what we witnessed. We witnessed Asmodee just kicking back, relaxing, and just going, I know exactly what you're doing. She pre-moved that like 20 seconds ago, I swear. It's, oh my lord.
Like, that right there was, I have never seen somebody do that on Lance. I don't know what you call that. That's like you're inside of your opponent's head, just like chilling in a chair. You're watching TV for free. I mean, like, you're having fun right there if you're Asmodee, because oh my goodness, and she's
going on the unarmed too. Cheeseface hasn't touched, gets the weapon throw, still hasn't touched, by the way, trying to go for a second recovery. Look, she doesn't even need a weapon to be able to beat Cheeseface right now. This is insane. Oh, waste the GC. Cheeseface does get the N-Sig, which does build up a bit more damage compared to, some of the more conventional follow-ups, but the Lance side air pushes Cheeseface off stage. Asmodee onto the Scythe now, trying to go for an N-Sig, but not connecting. Goes for a second one, though, after the end line. That does catch, and Cheeseface, it's almost a repeat of game one, where Cheeseface has got a lot of catching up to do.
I mean, like, you do have Axe, which does, like, negate almost any lead, but with how Asmodee is playing, I don't know. I mean, like, right now, Cheeseface is pushing her back, like, quite a lot, but I don't think that's going to be doing much.
Oh, does get the side air, so
too soon.
Cheeseface, he's recollected his thoughts. He's not exactly, his mental hasn't been completely destroyed by the goddess that Asmodee is right now, but, Cheeseface he's actually doing really well to be able to keep this even for now. Asmodee Scythe cooking. Nice wake up there by Cheeseface. We're probably going to see a lot of wake ups from Cheeseface, which may have come to his demise in his second stock. He only has a dodge left. Asmodee does get the side air. Cheeseface doesn't have anything to be able to make it back. He is gone. As Modi really catching the wake-ups. The Scythe is going to be very potent against those wake-ups that Cheeseface really loves to perform. Oh no, dodge gone as Modi tried to get a 4-piece, but just a little bit too high for that nair to catch. And now Cheeseface tries to put the edge guard in, tries to go for the down air, gets a recovery instead. And now Cheeseface without a weapon as Modi has him on the Scythe, on the back foot, the side air not connecting.
Oh my god!
Look, it happens to the best of us. Even PR1 in Australia, it happens to the best of us. So if you ever accidentally SD, then just know that it's A-okay as Modi's done it as well.
Even the pros make mistakes sometimes, but I mean, like, even with that mistake, Cheeseface is not in a great situation, taking a lot of damage still, just not finding anything on the accent to land mashup.
Down air,
and
a weapon throw. That's it. Well, Game 2 goes to Modi. A little bit of a closer matchup, but still nonetheless dominant from Asmodi.
Yeah, a very dominant play. I mean, like, even at the start of the game, I think Asmodi is incredibly comfortable right now, if you ask me. Going unarmed and almost taking the stock like under 30 seconds is horrifying if you're Cheeseface. He did get himself back into the game. Looks like it didn't shake him too much, but he still has a lot to figure out. He's made adjustments from first set. He's shown them in the second set. So let's see in this set right here, because he's going to losers if he doesn't sort this out right now. But let's see if all the changes he makes and all of the decisions he made mistakes on before, he'll change up and he'll have a game plan for Asmodi, because right now Asmodi is running through him like a truck.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting to see that Cheeseface didn't actually select the Azoth as quickly. I mean, maybe potentially trying to figure out whether the Hattori or the Koji was the pick, but he's sticking to his guns. We're going to go on Small Enigma, which honestly is a bit of an interesting choice for game number 3, especially with Lance platforms. Not your best friend. Axe has a true combo on a 3-piece true combo on Small Enigma with a side light nair into the downlight if you manage to latch onto one of the lower platforms.
Oh yeah.
But regardless, this isn't a map that is particularly fonded over.
Favoring Cheeseface.
Yeah, it's regardless, there's pros and cons to both players here on this map. It is a bit of a smaller map as well, which Asmodi already trying to pick him apart with the Lance. There's a nair. Doesn't have anything. The neutral signature, not enough to get the KO just yet. Cheeseface manages to use those platforms to his advantage. There's a side air.
Oh.
Cheeseface not gone just yet. Uses his dodge to come back to the stage. Asmodi just waiting for a weapon. Gets the sight down, and the ground pound just beat out by the axe nair. Now Cheeseface's turn to get the edge guard. Asmodi doesn't have anything. The ground pound just catches the top instead, and the weapon throw, and Asmodi is able to convert just an unlucky mistake into a KO for herself.
Oh my god, that's really unfortunate. That was just axe ground pound sending.
Ooh!
Oh my goodness!
Hang on, Cheeseface.
He was like, "Don't worry about that. I'm getting the stock." Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. Now Cheeseface is.
Okay, I think
he's still here. Now he's keeping the weapon away from Asmodi at the moment. Doing it again. Now swapping over to the axe this time. Just trying to pick apart Asmodi bit by bit, damage by damage. Now Asmodi finally picking up the lance. This is the matchup that I was talking about before game 1, and I'll be interested to see who wins out here at the moment. Asmodi's actually doing quite a bit of damage on it. Ooh, the nair into the recovery. Cheeseface making his way back.
True.
Now Asmodi picking up the scythe, keeping Cheeseface away from the weapon and trying to take revenge from the previous endeavor, the previous encounter, one should say. And now the damage is even at the moment.
Yeah.
The side signature whiffed. Another one from Asmodi, but that one's missed as well. Now Cheeseface trying to get the edge guard side light into the nair. And now Cheeseface sent up to... Ooh, that's a nice down air there. Try to find something else, but nothing untoward it. The N-Sig missing. Nice dodge away from that N-Sig. The weapon throw. Cheeseface does have enough to make it back. The unarmed recovery now is Asmodi on the lance. Side sig, and that's going to take the stock.
Ladies and gentlemen, Artemis.
Yeah, Artemis is
Now that right there, Yeah, she's a very good example of horrifying like that NSIG was. Oh my lord. Okay, so the game is even, and if how the game's been going at all, if Cheeseface can keep Asmodi off of this weapon, it may be possible for him to stay in this set. But right now, yeah, Asmodi does seem to be liking this matchup quite a lot. She does not seem phased by it at all. Hitting multiple dares, just pushing Cheeseface around. Cheeseface is not able to find that hit. He is in the red as Modi switching to the side. I mean, like, if I'm Cheeseface, I'm looking for something. I need to hit something. I'm on Axe. I can make that big damage, but I need to be very careful. Playing it off stage, especially against the site.
Let's go for down air, but missed time.
This is a very scary position.
Ooh, that's a nice recovery. Cheeseface is going to be sent outwards. The down air ends up sending Cheeseface onto the stage. A little bit of an interesting choice. Side sync, and Asmodi takes the set 3-0. She's put herself in top 8.
Jeez. Well, all right, there's that Asmodi diff, man. How do you feel about those games, Jerry? I mean, like, Asmodi went ballistic the whole way. Cheeseface played a great game and he kept himself in the games. Don't get me wrong. First game, I wouldn't say that as much, but second and third game, he was fighting back. He was making like very good pushes the whole way. I mean, like, props to Cheeseface, man. He played great right there. I have no idea, like, how he didn't manage to pull it out, but Asmodi did great, man. Like, she basically just ran through. There wasn't much else I can say about
that you could say about that, in all fairness. But we're going to go over to the next match. It is another winners quarterfinal. It is Doggo up against Raigundas. Now, both of these players already have their lock-ins, and it's Asuri and Hattori from either of these players. Doggo on the Asuri, Raigundas on the Hattori. The Hattori on Raigundas, it's, you know, ever since especially last year during the season where Hammer got a bit gutted in the balance patch, Raigundas, known for having that level 100 Bodvar, switched to the Hattori. So, and it's been working really well for him ever since he's been on that Hattori. He's just been improving more and more. And Doggo himself, Asuri isn't a pick that he's you know, just pulled out from the whereabouts. It's not something that he's pulled out of nowhere. He's played Asuri before. It's, you know, he might have been a little bit more known for the scythe or the orb that he has with that fate pick, but the Asuri is, it's not outlandish. That's something that I can give. You know, definitely a legend where you can afford to be a bit more patient, where you can afford to just play your game, just play safe, and try and just, you know, get a bit of that chip damage in. The Katars are going to be really interesting against the Spear of Raigundas, but this will definitely be a close match, and honestly, very tough to call. I mean, if I had to place my bets, I think Doggo might just edge out Raigundas in the end.
I think if it's coming down to edging it out, I feel like Raigundas may beat out Doggo a bit, just for the sword, because as you said, he's coming from the level 100 Bodvar. That's hammer and sword experience. Spear isn't too difficult of a weapon to pick up, but getting to play it versus Doggo, he may have a bit of that experience. Oh my god, going for an incredibly early KO after rip. Forget what I was saying, but I mean, like, he may have the win there, but we'll just have to see what happens with the Katars into Spear and Katars into Sword as the game goes along. But right now, Doggo is definitely doing decent damage. They are fairly even health right now, so it's hard to say who's in the lead, but the game is going very smoothly for both parties right now. We'll just have to see who can break away.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more even. A couple of neutralites coming out there from Doggo. You can see that the game is a lot more patient. Not a lot of rush down options. Both of these players are just trying to bait each other out with movement. There you go. There's a movement option from Raigundas, just baiting out that neutralite, can get the punish. Now swapping over to the spear. The Sares missed. Doggo with a clean punish. The recovery into the nair, tries to go for a second recovery, but just missed it. Down light into the side air. Not enough to KO just yet, but it will get the edge guard. That's a nice rush down option there from Raigundas, going for that spear recovery. He's put himself back onto the stage. Now Doggo gets it down lane into the recovery, swapping over to the sword. Consistent KO options that the sword has is it's really going to prove useful as for both of these players. Now Raigundas has a sword of his own as Doggo's on the Katars. Try to go for something early with that GC downlight.
Wow.
Raigundas able to get the punish and the dodge away from it. So it is, you know, both players down a stock at the moment, but it's very, very even at the moment between these two.
Yeah. There's a slight lead for Doggo right now. I can say that Raigundas does seem to be taking a lot more damage. Doggo's sword into Raigundas' spear seems to definitely be a weak point for Raigundas. He's just not finding any answers right now. He's looking for something, trying to bait stuff out with the movement, but it's just not fast enough. I think the speed difference right here in terms of spear into, oh my god!
Classic. Put him off the stage, get a GCN sync before they're able to touch the wall, and their stock has sailed. Like that stock is gone on the Titanic, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no.
Oh man,
there's a GC burn, right? Doggo try to get a second recovery, but Raigundas just a little bit too damaged enough, managed to get the jump away from it. Raigundas is probably going to try and look for a downlight recovery very soon. Gets a weapon thrown into the unarmed recovery, now picking up the weapon again. Downlight recovery fishing time, potentially. Try and reel it in, Raigundas. Is really just trying to fade out the movement. There's a side light side air, that's going to get the KO. Reading the jump away from that side light. And now Raigundas keeping himself onto the spear for this stock. Now both of these players just
trying to find something.
It's very close between these two.
Well, we'll just have to see if
they're just you know, dabbling each other a little bit in neutral. Doggo now does have a little bit of a lead. Raigundas does make it back to stage safely.
Trying to find this. Ooh. I mean, like, Raigundas is definitely trying to find his footing, but on the spear, it just seems to be a massive weak point. That may be it. But just touching!
Just managed to evade it. He's got a second life ahead of him.
Oh my
dodge. Gets a three-piece.
And he's gonna make the most of it?
He's gonna definitely try and make the most of it from now. Both of these players just in the neutral. The side signature punished! Doggo takes game 1.
Wow. Now that was a really, really tight game. I mean, like, both players played played very well. Doggo was edging Raigundas out a lot of points in the game. At a lot of different points. Raigundas making it back to the stage with that just perfectly timed recovery to the side to get back on. Could have been the difference maker. That could have been anyone's game right there, but just snuffing out the signature, Doggo taking the stock. So after such a close game, man, I'm still not sure of who's going to take it away, but Doggo is looking pretty good right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's we've noticed the map change. We are off of Brawlhaven, and we have swapped ourselves onto Miami Dome. So, you know, those platforms maybe come in use for, you know, potentially the earlier KOs if you can manage to get a downlight recovery onto the platforms. But,
this is true.
Yeah, Raigundas is going to have to change himself up. He's been punished for maybe some unfortunate mistakes. And Doggo getting a three-piece Enlight into the double recovery, trying to go for the ground pound. Raigundas now just try to maybe get the unarmed Gimp, but he's put himself back on stage, picking up the spear. Try to pick up the dodge, but the GC burn. Doggo getting a little bit of a punish, but nothing else. The ground pound coming out. Nice recovery there from Doggo. Now Raigundas has lost the weapon. Doggo putting himself onto the sword, hoping for a downlight recovery soon. Now Raigundas has a sword of his own. The GC burnt. Doggo getting away from the whiff coverage. Yeah, we're seeing that a little bit.
Just making it back to stage.
Yeah, we're seeing just like a little bit of whiff coverage play every now and then from Raigundas, and Doggo just seems to be ready for it, using a lot of his movement to try and bait out the punishes. And at the moment, it's a very movement-based game. They're both playing exactly as how you would want to for, you know, an Asuri and Hattori combination. You know, try and play it slow, try and play it a little bit more patiently. Try not to go for anything outlandish, as Raigundas has done just there, but that was a nicely dodged away. Raigundas faking the weapon throw. And now side blade tries to pick up the dodge and does with the GC Ensig. I was not expecting such an option from you, Raigundas. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know you had it in you, man. But hey, you pulled it out.
Hey, he pulled it out. It worked, and he got the damage. Now let's see if he can build a bit of a lead against Doggo, because that will definitely be a big thing for him. Getting taken out by a near.
Ooh, does get a GC and light, but didn't have any options, so couldn't get the recovery. Nice read from Doggo. He's got almost an entire stock lead. The downlight into the GC down sig. That was such a call out from Doggo, and it's paid off for him in a quite emphatic style. Now Doggo... Yeah, Doggo now keeping a weapon away from Raigundas, who does manage to pick up the sword. Now he's got the edge guard, accidentally puts himself off stage, and now Doggo tries to get a recovery, but Doggo gets a little bit of a two-piece. Nice GC, try to go for the ground pound, but just missed the spacing. Now Doggo and Raigundas, both of themselves, retract themselves back into neutral. Raigundas getting the spear instead, preferring it. Nice dodge read pick up from Doggo. Now he's got to work his way around. That's a nice nair. A second one, tries to go for the Ensig, but just missing. Raigundas just trying to get a read out of Doggo, just try and bait him out his movement. Maybe try and get, try and use his, Doggo's, maybe try and get a quick punish. I'm losing my words here, man. Like, I'm losing my words. I've not had enough Vegemite this morning. Oh, nice ground pound again by Raigundas. He does confirm the edge guard, but he's got a lot of work to do to be able to tie this back up. Downlight into the recovery on the unarmed. Try to go for a GC. Raigundas, maybe a small punish, but keeps himself onto the spear. Nice down air. Maybe trying to find a second one. Does get a nair instead. Yeah, right. It's only a downlight recovery or two away from Raigundas' stock being completely evaporated. It's gonna be a downlight Sair instead, and Doggo takes game 2. Yeah, Raigundas and Doggo, they seem to go even in most patches, but Doggo usually once or twice within the game will just extend his lead just a little bit, and Raigundas hasn't really been able to latch onto that or be able to get out of that. And Raigundas is going to have to try and work his way around, you know, try and probably just win a couple more neutral engagements. That seems to be where this game is breaking down right now. It is in those neutral engagements because these players aren't extending a whole lot from their potential starter strings. Not a lot of hard reads come out from either of these players, and you know, it's just bit by bit, Doggo just manages to get more and more damage onto Raigundas than Raigundas can get onto Doggo. So it's... yeah, there's a side light into the neutral light though. Nice recovery, chase down. Now swapping himself onto the sword, try to get the GC from up above, but Raigundas managing to get out of the way of that one. That's a nice side air, but downlight into the recovery. Not enough to get a KO just yet. That map change really probably coming into effect there for Raigundas. Downlight side air, that's going to take the KO instead. And Doggo has the lead against Raigundas right now. He's put himself onto the Katars. And now Raigundas picking up the spear. trying to get a read potentially for Doggo on these Katars. Sideline neutralite, try to get away of that recovery, but Doggo doesn't have anything, and he's just gonna let himself fall out of the sky. And now Ragundas, if he's able to get, pick up a dodge, try and win a couple more neutral engagements. So there's a downlight into the Sair. And now keeping Doggo away from a weapon. Yeah, now swapping over to the sword, just really weapon-starving Doggo, just trying to win as many neutral engagements as possible. But now Doggo has a sword of his own, gets a side air, tries to go for a side tick, barely missed. A side air beat out by Doggo's own. Downlight into the side air with the GC, Ragundas. Does he have enough to make it back? The side air onto the wall. That's going to take out Ragundas. Very nice edge guard confirmed by Doggo. And he's one stock away from a 3-0, putting himself into the top 8 winners side. The dodge is gone. Oh, try to go for the GC, but barely missed. Ragundas gets a recovery, but Doggo with a rush down, try to pick out his dodge, but he's decided to just hang back. Down sig punished by Ragundas. He has the edge guard, but he's let himself fall off the map a little bit. Doggo just trying to use a weapon throw as a bait potentially. Gets hit by the ground pound. He kind of just stood there and took it, didn't he? Yeah, dodge baited out with a spear down air. Doggo trying to get the recovery, but can't find anything else. That's gonna be it. The dodge is gone. The skeleton and the trumpet come out as Doggo gets the 3-0 and puts himself into the top 8 winners side. Yeah, he's in top 8, but they are on opposite sides of the winner's side of the bracket if we're talking about Asmodee and Doggo. But we're going to go over to our next match. It is in top 8, the winner's semi-final, and it is going to be Asmodee up against Vey. Now, Vey beating out Herm in the winner's quarterfinal. And it looks like Alsum had beat out Smash in the winners quarterfinal as well. So Doggo is going to be up against Alsum. That'll be the next match. But for now, it is Asmodee up against Vey, which is it's going to be a bit of an interesting one. We already saw Asmodee on the Artemis earlier. Vey, we're probably going to expect a Hattori, more likely an Orion. So it's, it's not, Vey is definitely a lot more of a patient player, likes to slow down the game, likes to play it in his own tempo, and Asmodee is more so the type of player to just rush down his opponent, her opponent, I should say. We already saw that, with the Cheeseface game that she had played earlier on the stream. Yeah. She just has this ability to be able to rush the opponent down and, force them to make an error. She moves them really well, bait out a dodge. Oh no, I can hit you 3 times now without you being able to respond. And it's a 0 to death. So,
and your stock is gone. They need to be careful of that. Asmodee has been great. Like every tournament I've casted with Asmodee in it, she is great at closing out on her opponent. If their opponent is patient, or likes to, keep distance between them and their opponent, she tends to close that space, boxes them in, force them to make quick decisions, and Asmodee just keeps winning off of that, gets so much damage, getting those easy dodges. I mean, like, she plays great, she does well, and it just normally plays out in her favor. She is going up against Vey, Vey has the Hattori pick. He tends to play Hattori for a while before he decides, okay, I think it's time to bust out the Orion. It may happen a bit earlier. I don't know. I've seen it happen before where these two. This isn't a new matchup for them. They played each other a couple of times now, and it's the same thing. Vey comes in with the Hattori first, loses the set, moves forward, and tries to come back with the Orion, but it's just too little too late. Vey does like to play close games. He does like to play patiently, but we'll just have to see how it works out. He's played as Modi before. He has the experience. We'll just have to see what he comes out with this time.
Yeah, usually Vey is usually seed number 8, so this is a match that usually happens in the winners quarterfinal, but we're seeing it here in the semi-final now. Which it's probably a little bit later than they were expecting, as Modi locking onto the Artemis, and Vey, there is the Hattori from him.
The Hattori pick.
It's the Hattori,
Yep.
another Hattori. So it's as the map band's coming out, it's gonna be Brawlhaven Apocalypse or Demon Island, and
removing all of those platforms, as many as she can at the very least.
Just
not wanting to get that.
Yeah, just looks like we've backed
there's
out.
a
It looks like he's
Ooh!
pulling out the Orion instead. A little bit of a mix-up here.
Off the rip.
He just decided, you know what?
Okay.
I don't want to play Hattori. Give
Yep.
me the Lance. We're going on
Yeah.
Brawlhaven for game number 1. This is the lore matchup. I don't know why, but Artemis and Orion, for some reason, I just love the matchup just purely because of the lore aspect. I don't know why.
Yep.
3, 2,
The Clashing of Titans. I mean, like, they are two very popular Lance Legends for different reasons. The similarities being quite good signatures. They're great legends, respectively, great stats, great everything. They have the rivalry in game. So this is a bit of a classic match. You could say a classic rivalry, if you would.
Yeah, not only lore-wise, but player-wise, as Modi and Vey. Down sig comes out from Asmodi. She now has the edge guard, tries to go for the down air, but Vey manages to evade it quite nicely, tries to go for the 2-piece, but Vey dodges away. And now Asmodi, try to go for a side air, but Vey able to get the rush down on the Lance. But now he's being edge guarded again. Side signature just missed. That down air just aiming it the wrong way. Nair tries to go for recovery, but Asmodi gets out of the way in time. Neutralite on the Lance, and now picking up the spear instead. Down signature avoided. Down line to the recovery. That's going to take the KO. And
wow,
Vey takes the first stock here in game number 1.
Very interesting situation. I mean, like, the D-Sig was totally bait. That was not a misinput for all those who are wondering. He got the KO, and he's building the damage right now. I mean, like, Vey seems to... Oh my goodness! Could that be it? That's another stock!
Vey is on a different planet right now. He is just running Asmodi down into the grave with this Lance.
Jesus! She just didn't have an answer for it the whole way. He just went over there. He's like, yep, this is you.
Yeah, the
It's over.
GCN light managed to get the KO, but now Vey is leading into the barbecue at the moment, and he's trying to get an answer. The down air manages to dodge away from the weapon throw. He does get the wall touch. Asmodi coming back onto the stage. The down air on the Lance gets the weapon throw. That's going to be enough to finally get that KO. And now Asmodi has got a lot to work her way back from. This is not a situation that Asmodi is quite familiar with. Usually she's the one that's 2 entire stocks up or 1 entire stock up. And now she's having to work her way back.
This is true. It isn't completely foreign to her. It's not something she has to do very much, though. That is for sure. But I've seen Asmodi come back from this on stream in Grands before. This isn't too much of a struggle, but with how Vey's playing, this is going to be a culture shock for her, because with the current pace, I mean, like, even if she manages to take a stock here, Vey is building a lead. He is just taking off. He is playing her game and he is winning, and it is, man, I'm having a great time. This is something you don't see very often, ladies and gents. Asmodi just not really able to find it, and there's the just yet. Ooh!
I mean, that was so close to getting that KO.
Man.
Try to find something else. There's a nair. Maybe trying to
This
find a
is
recovery. Finds a side air instead.
There
And
it is.
Vey
Yep.
takes
Fair.
game 1 against Asmodi.
Wow. Man. Why doesn't Vey just play Orion off the rip all the time?
I don't know, man.
I'm kinda
I've
confused.
got no idea. We're going straight back into it. You know, nothing changes. No map changes. No legend changes.
Yep.
And Vey somehow takes game 1 against Asmodi. Look, Vey is a very good player, but I wasn't expecting such a rush down already.
Exactly. I mean, like, that caught me completely off guard. I've watched Vey play so many times, gotten like reverse 3-0s, all sorts of things, barely making it through sets. He's a great player. He does quite well on the Orion. He's insane on the Lance. It is disgusting. The spear, he's no slouch there either. Obviously, he does play a Tori.
Or down sig.
So you know that's coming through.
Tries to go for the ground pound. That was nicely dodged through, though.
Getting
The weapon
through.
throw just
Oh.
managing to interrupt the ground pound that Vey was going to bring out. Sidelight Nair tries to find the recovery, but Vey dodges away. Sidelight side air, not enough to get the KO just yet. Tries to get the edge guard, but Asmodi manages to get away nicely. Tries to go for these sidelights, but Asmodi managing to get the punish. The KO options trying to come out. The GC down signature not really hitting. Vey now swapping over to the spear, tries to go for down sig, but Asmodi getting away from it nicely. Down signature again, a down air there from Asmodi. Tries to go for a side sig. Down light, not able to connect. Tries to pick up the dodge read. Side air, that's going to get the KO. Yeah, that was a bit of a tense situation there from either of those players. Either one of them could have gotten the KO, but it was Asmodi that managed to win it out in the end.
Let's see if that makes the difference for Asmodi going forward. If she can build a lead here, because if she can do what Vey did in that last game, this may just be her game to take. Because we know that as soon as she gets momentum, as soon as she takes that lead, it's no longer fun. It's no.
Yeah,
lordy.
the instant side air off of the wall, it managed to get the KO, which is you know, a little bit of an interesting piece of Lance tech. You know, you can get those side airs and those down airs off the wall almost immediately, frame 1. And it can lead to some very interesting interactions. You're on the wall and all of a sudden you have the KO.
I have to say this though, while you were saying that Vey was putting on a Lance show, I mean, like, the damage
nice
doesn't
recovery.
tell the full story, but oh my
recovery
goodness.
taking the dodge.
The build-up just now by Vey.
Yeah, at the moment, Asmodi trying to work her way
Still a
through.
little bit under
Neutral signature not connecting, and now Vey swaps onto the spear, tries to go for a down sig, but Asmodi interrupts it very cleanly. There's an end sig. Asmodi does have the lead, which she's keeping onto the Lance against Vey, which I'm not gonna lie is a little bit interesting. It's a Lance Ditto. There's a side air finally. Vey cleans up the stock, and now it is. If Vey can take the stock from here, it's 2-0 to Vey, and then Asmodi is going to have to react fast.
Very quickly. Because right now, I mean, like, Vey has been playing great on the Lance. I don't think the Lance Ditto is a very good play for Asmodi right now, seeing as how Vey has been piecing it up. And on the side, there we go. Up there it is. That's the game.
Evens up the set 1-1 with that.
Wow.
With that.
I mean, like, wow. How do you react to something like that? That was so quick, in the moment, perfectly played, perfectly spaced by Asmodi. I have no clue what just happened. Vey is playing out of his mind. We're looking to see a lot of great sets after this, is what I'm hoping for, but that was just a picture-perfect final stock from Asmodi. You could not ask for more. And it sent all the way over there. It may not have taken out on a different map, but that small Brawlhaven definitely came in clutch. And that's probably why Vey banned that map. So we're looking between Miami Dome, a Demon Island, or a small Fortress of Lions. Now, I'd like to see Small Fortress. It's not a bad map, you know. I'd like to see it change, but we may be going to that Demon Island or that Miami Dome. Who knows? But these games have been close, man. I'm excited. I need to see what's going on here.
Demon Island here for game number 3, which might help with those Scythe edge guards a little bit more for Asmodee, considering that there isn't a whole lot of wall for Vey to be able to attach himself onto, should he be taken off stage. But this may also help out the lance of both players and the spear for Vey. You manage to catch a dodge, double down light, and the side air will, manage to get those KOs a lot earlier than those recoveries, which Asmodee, a lot of her KOs from Scythe will be taken off on the off stage, and which she swaps over to the Scythe just now. Speak of the devil, tries to pick up a dodge, picks up the same dodge again, tries to read the jump, but now Vey's put himself off stage, gets a rushed recovery, but he's still off stage. Down air connects, tries to go for the ground pound, barely missing the recovery, just manages to touch onto the wall, and now it's the edge guard. Vey has nothing. He can't make it back. Tries to go for the turnaround, knowing that he wasn't going to be able to touch the wall. Asmodee priming the Scythe. She now has a good advantage here, and the Scythe is kind of just rummaging through Vey at the moment, trying to look through all the collector's items, and finds Vey, and is like, yeah, I'm gonna take that. That one's mine. Might not have been mine originally, but it's definitely mine now. I don't care what any of y'all say to me. I'm just gonna pluck it straight out of the air. Tries to go for that N-Sig, but both missing. Side Sig, not enough to get the KO just yet. Just a little bit too far on the center of the map. The ground pound neutralized the N-Sig. They had no dodge. Confirmed KO there on the Scythe, and Asmodee has just turned up. She woke up.
This is looking grim.
She's fine. She was playing in the bed, and now she's like, okay, now I gotta get out of bed to be able to play the game. Oh, Lord. And now she's out of bed, and she is running circles around Vey.
Sitting up in the chair and playing her life out. Right now, we are just seeing Asmodee dominating Asmodee fashion. I mean, like, Vey seems a bit lost. It's like the guy that was there just before, as he takes the stock, still quite a lead to have to get past right now. But, I mean, like, the guy who we saw before, he just faded just now. Asmodee did not give him a chance. He does have a bit of an advantage in the Lance matchup is what I would say, but let's see if anything changes, because Asmodee has woken up, as we said before. Maybe the Scythe is just what was working for
Side Sig!
We'll see
Not
if
enough to
changes.
get the KO just yet. Vey trying to reach his way back near to the recovery. That's going to get the KO. Asmodee 2-1 up at the moment.
Jeez. That's a turnaround for you. She was definitely laying in bed, as you were saying, man. She was 100% laying in bed, because this is a whole new person all of a sudden. Vey is not able to do anything, and I am baffled. If I was Vey right now, I'd be scared. I'd genuinely be scared of what's going on my screen. Small Enigma again.
Look, I'd be scared.
The spear. This is going to be a good map pick, but yeah. I mean, like, Asmodee should be scared, but after those two games, I mean, like, my fear may have left the room just a little bit. Maybe it went to get a cup of water. It might come back, depending on what Vey does. But we'll just have to see as we go into this game 4.
Yeah, Vey at the moment has really, in these last 2 games especially, has managed to just catch himself into Asmodee's rush down options. And Vey is going to have to try and figure out how to get away from that. Oh, that's a nice downlight into the air, latching onto the platform. Tries to go for a nair, but dodged away from. But yeah, Vey at the moment is going to have to try and, just maybe play a little bit of parry. Nice downline into the air, puts Asmodee into the red. The side air, though, from Asmodee puts herself back onto the stage. Now the engagement into the neutral, both of the players trying to go for weapon throws. And, they end up connecting. That's a nice neutral air. Tries to go for more, but can't quite manage to make it latch.
Can't really find
the
anything.
Recovery there from Vey. Now they're just really trying to... It's a lot of this neutral game now.
Find those neutral options.
A lot of neutral game just trying to play out in between. A lot of that is Vey's doing. If Vey is very good at controlling tempo, and if he's able to do that against Asmodee, he will end up winning the next 2 games. But he's got a lot of work to do. That side air, even then, not enough to get the KO just yet. Asmodee, being edge guarded, gets away from that GC down sig quite nicely. The side signature barely missing, just misspaced it slightly. Neutral sig. The recovery dodged through.
Missing the recovery.
It was a very nicely timed dodge there from Asmodee. Vey has brought a lot of damage
true.
onto Asmodi right now, but isn't able to get these KO options, coming out. And Asmodi is looking closer and closer to getting that KO. The weapon throw dodged through. The recovery on the unarmed. Tries to go for another unarmed option. The ground pound finally managing to connect.
There it goes.
Asmodi tried to get herself away from it, but didn't manage to, even with all that speed, couldn't manage to get away from it in time. Lance side air finally getting the KO for Asmodi. Now she's going to keep herself onto the scythe, which she definitely seems to be favoring at the moment, into Vey, which it's looking a lot more even in this game than compared to the last two that we've seen, but all it takes is a neutral engagement or two, and Asmodi has you rummaging through the files, trying to figure out where you went wrong. And you didn't go wrong at all. Asmodi was just right the whole time. That's the secret answer.
She was just better.
to solve the mystery case. That's all that is.
Don't worry, man. They found the paper. They found the file work. It just said you got outplayed. There's nothing else about it.
Yeah.
You just simply got outplayed. And right now, Vey is having a hard time getting back to stage.
Oh, the Nensig!
Does get the touch, but
Vey's on his last stock. And if he wants to stay alive in the winner's side of the bracket, he is going to have to pull his way forward from here. The dodge down again as Modi getting a huge scythe read. And Vey ends up going for a ground pound, maybe a miss input. The GC Danzig didn't connect, but it got the stock regardless. And Vey has been put down to the elimination side of the bracket. 3-1 for Asmodi, and she's put herself into the winner's final.
Man, wow. Wow. I have no clue how that got out of hand that quickly. Must have been some misinputs on Vey's part. He played a great game, but Asmodi just straight up pulled through. She just pulled through the entire game and just managed to stay on top. Just about stayed on top throughout the whole set right there. Like, I don't know where to begin. I don't know where it ends. Vey came in like a monster. He's like your worst Orion nightmare. Came to life just now, even as Modi was scared. And then she was like, oh wait, let me just get out of bed. Oh, I'm playing Artemis, what am I doing? And then everything just turned around. It was, man, it was a fit. It was something you had to be there to see, because that was definitely one of the most insane sets of the night. We're definitely looking for some more, but that's Asmodi going forward, that's Vey going down, and we still have more games to go. That was not finals, ladies and gents. That was not the finals at all.
Yeah, we have the other winners semi-final to play out, and it is going to be Doggo up against Elsum. This is maybe not so much of a grudge match compared to maybe what you might consider brotherly love. A lot of these Doggo and Elsum, former teammates, they've won multiple tournaments together before, but this isn't 2v2, this is 1v1, and they're going to have to face up against each other. And look, it's going to be a tough match between the two. Doggo we've seen on the Asuri, but Elsum, I'm not too sure what he'll pick from here. I've seen him on a bunch of things. We've seen him on Asuri, and definitely last year when he swapped to the Asuri was when he climbed through the ranks. He got a couple seconds in tournaments, but definitely was a little bit towards earlier in his career, probably a lot more known for the Fate. But we've seen him play a couple different things, and one of those things being Jaehyun. We've seen a Jaehyun from him before.
Yes.
But
there was a Jaehyun pick very recently. Very, very recently. And as a great sword player myself, that was definitely some of the most fun Jaehyun I've seen in a very long time. And I've seen a lot of Jaehyun, let me tell you that much. But he plays both weapons very well, and he finds a lot of damage very quickly. So we could see that pick. Elsum does have a lot of other picks up his sleeve though. So we are just at the mercy of these two. We do have a couple of ideas, but we'll just have to see where this goes, honestly.
Yeah, we'll have to see as it goes. We're just waiting on Elsum at the moment. to get into the lobby as just a little bit to come through with the bracket, which I'm going to have a look at the bracket now, see what's going on down there. And at the moment, we have a lot of the elimination side. A lot of the elimination side games have come through, but we've got 5 matches left to be played on that loser side of the bracket in top 32. We have Herm up against Moxies. Cheeseface is playing against Power, which if you guys want to see the stream for that, go to twitch.tv/cheesefacebh. And Smash against Kyler Alice, and Raigundas is waiting on either Zach the Boss or Kays. So those will be some interest. It'll be interesting to see who goes through to the loser side of the bracket into the top 8 side through there. Yeah. But at the moment, I'm going to be a little bit more interested to see this winners semi-final match. But still just waiting on a player to enter into the lobby.
But as we sit here and we're kind of just waiting for Elsum to get here, let's talk a little bit more about just Doggo's journey through the bracket at the very least. Because I mean, like, I don't think that was a very easy game that he had.
we've got Elsum into the lobby
here.
Now.
He did not have a very easy game.
Of all the picks that Elsum could have possibly pulled out, this was probably the one that I wasn't expecting as much.
He picked
Rayman. Like, it's not an uncommon pick. It's an uncommon pick. Like,
but
okay, it's not an uncommon pick. Don't get me wrong, but Elsum on Rayman. It's not particularly something that I've seen a lot from Elsum. I'm gonna be honest. I was expecting maybe a sword character from Elsum, but Rayman. It's not a bad legend, but Rayman.
It has me kind of speechless actually. Like, what's going on?
What's with this, Elsum? What have you been cooking? Well, who let you in the kitchen, man? Why are you burning the water in the kitchen? Like,
oh my god, who let him cook? What is happening?
Look, as we go into game 1, we put ourselves on Apocalypse, so we're expecting the same gameplay again from Doggo. You know, probably a lot more of the patient stuff. You know, just try and bait out the opponent with the movement. But Elsum is a different beast compared to Raigundas. Don't get me wrong, both very good players in their own rights. But Elsum probably a bit more of a better player in one. So I'm gonna have to see how this plays out between the two. Tries to go for that sidelight recovery, but Doggo manages to dodge away. There's a recovery again, and Sig managing to connect. Nice bit of damage there for Elsum. Sidelight into the endlight, manages to drop away. Tries to get the edge guard. The ground pound's coming out, but neither of them connecting. The endlight tries to pick up the dodge, but swaps over to the sword, hoping to get that potential consistent KO option with a downlight into the recovery. The DC came out, but Doggo was ready for it. He was prepared. It's not like he hasn't played against a Rayman before.
It's a Rayman.
Yeah, gotta love a good Rayman.
It's something you see quite a lot.
There's a neutral air, tries to find something else. That's a nice neutral light there, but not gonna be able to get the KO. The recovery still... A lot of damage has been put on to Elsum stock. Finally gets the GC downlight into the recovery, punishing Elsum for trying to get that axe side air, which it's working out in the favor of Doggo right now, this matchup. Tries to go for that down air, but Doggo, managing to catch that recovery nicely, but
dodging
nothing untoward it happening.
Wow.
Both of these players just trying to play the patient game. Downlight into the recovery, manages to get the stock with it. Very nicely done there from Elsum. He's now swapping over to the axe, which, is a little bit more of an interesting weapon choice. Nice 3-piece there. Recognizing that he's not going to get the dodge. The side air managing to catch Doggo, but now Elsum an extension too far. Doggo gets the edge guard off of it. He's got Elsum in the edge, which he's going to try and find those down airs, try and fish for them. That's a nice neutral light there from Doggo. A side air tries to put Elsem away with that weapon throw. Now swapping over to the Katars. Tries to find a recovery, but Elsem, a nair, and another end line tries to go for that down sig. The recovery hitting, but not able to send Cheeseface all that far away for now. Down sig, gonna get the KO for Doggo.
I mean, like, I am still trying to wrap my head around why Elsem picked Rayman, and I'm feeling like, as we've said before, these two have played together before, so this may be some little sparring joke that we're all missing, or could straight up just be a counter pick to Doggo, but I am not too sure about it working right now, because Doggo still winning neutral, still playing great, Elsem taking the stock with the recovery, but I mean, like, too little too late, maybe? Too little too late? We will have to see. Doggo does not have a weapon right now. As I said, he gets the Katars. We'll just have to see what Elsem does here, because this is a very interesting matchup. I'm not too sure about what's going through his head, but it seems to be working for the most part. He's not completely getting ran through in this game as others would, but he's definitely having a difficult time finding the damage. If he does get Doggo damaged enough, I know he'll have the KO option right there and ready. But that's if he gets Doggo into that damage area, because he is in dire straits himself.
There's a down sig.
Oh, there's a D sig.
Doggo takes game one in good style. I was gonna say emphatic style, but Doggo's just been playing way too consistent. Nothing changing at the moment between the two players as we go into game two. Elsem is kind of trying to figure out how to play into this Asuri. It's a lot of the neutral engagements that he has to win as we go into Brawlhaven for game number 2. So, you know, probably KO options probably coming a little bit earlier for both of these players. Defense for both of these players are actually quite similar, but regardless, both of these players, that's a nice sidelight there from Doggo. Ooh, catches a little bit of off stage before Elsem gets a nair, tries to go for the ground pound, but Doggo manages to evade it. There's a neutral light, but Elsem still off stage. He makes his way back, however. Tries to go for the weapon throw. Nice sidelight into the air. Gets a second air. The side air beat out by the Katars in air. Picks up the dodge. Nice side air.
Oh my goodness.
Ground pound. That's going to get the KO.
There he goes.
Doing very well. Catching the read. Sending Elsem off stage with that side air. And then managing to clean up the stock with a very nicely played edge guard. And, it's both. Oh no, dodge gone. Fight. Oh no, doesn't get the downlight. Potentially could have gotten an endlight recovery, and it still would have been confirmed regardless of dodge. And tries to go for that ground pound. Both of them going for it. Oh no, the GC, but Elsem manages to get a recovery. Now both of these players just reciting themselves back into the neutral. There's a side air, but oh, nice recovery, managing to connect. There is a lot of damage built up onto Elsem at the moment, and it won't take a whole lot for Doggo to manage to get Elsem into the KO %. But if Elsem is able to get a lot of damage, just play himself into the neutral, get a couple sidelight nairs, he'll manage to catch a lot of damage. Doggo catching a couple side airs with the sword, tries to go for a sidelight. Elsem can't get the punish quite right. He does get a downlight though, which puts Doggo into the air. GC downlight into the recovery, not enough to get the KO just yet. As now both of the players try and reside into the neutral. Sidelight punished. Doggo's winning a lot more of these neutral engagements, just getting the punishes, tries to go for that recovery, not enough to get the KO option just yet. Downlight into the side, it doesn't connect.
Ooh, dropping it.
And now both of them reside into the neutral. Sidelight, potentially trying to put off stage. Cheeseface, Elsem, it's not Cheeseface, that is Elsem, as the recovery takes away Doggo. And if you guys have a look a little bit further into the bracket, it looks like Power has been knocked out by Cheeseface into the loser side of the bracket. It looks like Cheeseface has found himself a top 8. Moxie's has also put himself into a top 8 position. Kyler has got himself a top 8 position. Oh no! Doggo gets the GC.
Oh my goodness.
2-0 to Doggo.
Oh my goodness.
I was trying to give you guys a bracket update, and Doggo decided to put on a bit of a show. He put on his favorite little dancing shoes and just
Yep,
decided to bounce away at it.
I think he was waiting for you to do that. He's like, I'm gonna wait for somebody to stop paying attention to the game, then I'm gonna do something cool. Everybody does something cool when you're not looking. Thankfully, I was looking. Oh my goodness. That was a beautiful play by Doggo to end the set and take away some stock. 2-0. Game 2, small brawl. Or not game 2, game 3, small brawl. Nothing changes. I mean,
look,
hey,
it's the Rayman.
hey,
It's the Rayman that has
Elsem.
gotten Elsem this far, and he's still sticking with it, which guts to him. Gets a 3-piece though, puts Doggo into the orange, but now Doggo trying to picture a couple pieces of the puzzle, and now it looks like Elsem's the one who has the lead right now. That's a side air, but nothing untoward it. Both of these players trying to reside themselves into the neutral. Nice 2-piece, but Elsem dodging away, getting the punish.
Getting out of there. Getting out of there very fast. Elsem still taking quite a bit of damage from the Qatar.
Oh, that's a nice down heavy
not the
on the
greatest
unarmed. The end light not connecting. Doggo managing to get away from it just in time. The GC side signature. Of all options you go for the one that somehow worked. Yeah, Doggo's advantage state against Elsem is just proving to be a lot to work for and a lot to work with for Doggo. As right now, it's Elsem trying to get these recoveries, trying to catch the options. Does get a GC downlight into the rack.
There it is.
But now Elsem, looks like he's gonna pull himself onto the axe. You would hope that, Elsem tries to play a little more patient, tries to manage to catch himself a couple sidelight nairs. Doggo getting a lot of damage, gets an exhausted recovery, tries to pick up the dodge, but Elsem managing to get away from it just in time. Now a couple of these axe hits are starting to spray out, tries to go for the down sig, but Doggo managing to get away from it. Both of these players are now on stage, trying to find a potential KO option here for Doggo. Tries to go for that end light, but Elsem managing to get a gauntlet side air. Now that side sig puts Doggo into the red. The weapon throw, both of these players goes for the recovery.
The recovery.
And Doggo is one stock away from putting himself into the winner's final 3-0.
I mean, like...
Oh
wow.
no, there's a dodge. Oh, probably a misinput there. Elsem trying to go for something. GC downlight not connecting. There's an end light there from Elsem. Tries to go for a weapon throw, but Doggo managing to evade it. Tries to go for the recovery, but Doggo dodges away from it. Yeah, Elsem is not able to get this KO option when it matters most, as he's already into the amber. There's the recovery. Try to go for the recovery, but the NC came out instead. The weapon throw. Yeah, Elsem is not looking too great. Sidelight into the nair. Down nair. Tries to go for something else. There's the recovery finally. Elsem probably too little too late, as Doggo is very close to getting this KO. It only takes a downlight recovery or so. There's a side getting rid of the weapon for Elsem. Tries to go for something else. Sidelight into the recovery. Tries to go for a second one, but Doggo interrupts. Sidelight tries to find another recovery again, but Doggo dodging away. Downlight into the recovery, and Doggo is putting himself into winner's final 3-0 up against Elsem.
There it goes. Just like that, in a matter of seconds. If you blink, you miss it. Wow. Doggo is definitely on a roll today. He is not slowing down at all. Doggo is running through these sets. He is playing the game hard. He's playing it fast. He's showing why he should be here. Elsem, great game. Still trying to figure out why you picked that Rayman. It did work quite well, but it just wasn't enough to beat out Doggo's Siri. I mean, like, Jerry, give me the rundown on that. What did I just witness? What did I just see? What just happened?
You witnessed Elsem not being able to get the KOs, especially in that last game. There was a lot that had happened there, but it was definitely probably a lot closer through the rundowns. But for now, looks like this bracket is progressing quite nicely. Brawlhalla has started their official stream, so if you want to go over to there and watch that, watch the rest of the top 4 for this Australian major, this spring championship. But stick around because if you want to watch some pre-matches for the Southeast Asian bracket, make sure you stay here on this stream right here, and we will be with you very soon. My name's That Jerry Boy. Diz, do you have any words for me?
Hey, all I have for you guys is don't blink. Don't miss a wink of those games. The matches right now are setting up to have a beautiful set going forward. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. My name's Diz. It's been real. It's been fun. It's definitely been real fun. And we'll see you right after.
See you with some SEA action soon. Yo, welcome back to the Spring Championship pre-stream. We are now on the SEA side of the tournament, and my name is that Jerry Boy, and I have Serge next to me. Serge, how you doing, man? It's good to be casting with you.
I'm doing great. I am definitely very excited both to cast with you and also to watch some of these great matches. I really do enjoy watching Southeast Asia. Just a couple majors and things. It works at a perfect time of night for me that I can turn it on and watch some really interesting gameplay from a lot of these players. Big fan of Tiger over the years, watching particularly the Koji and the Bow, and the Rise of Keith is really interesting, which ironically is our first two up, Tiger and Keith, which is sort of like an old guard and a new, at least new-ish from like the past year or so. And I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm very excited for our next match.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. It looks like Tiger at the moment is on that level 100 Koji that he has, and it is Keith on the Tezuka, which it's he doesn't even have a level 25 Tezuka, a level 24 Tezuka against a level 100 Koji that has won multiple tournaments. A little bit interesting. We are seeing the battle boots in action for the first time today. And it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Battle boots, definitely one of the stronger weapons at the moment, but I'll be interested to see how that plays into the sword. I'm gonna be honest, but Tiger probably a little bit more known for the bow. We're gonna see a lot of interesting, probably more parry style gameplay from Southeast Asia, potentially, maybe a couple rushdown options. Don't expect them to stay in neutral for long, because they have buttons that hit the opponent, and they want to use the buttons that hit the opponent because, it gets you damage, and then, that gets you the KOs, and then it gets you the victory. And who doesn't love victory? It tastes nice. I mean, it tastes like honey, but like, all right. We are almost ready to get into this match. We are getting into the map bans now. Tiger getting rid of Enigma, Miami Dome, Apocalypse, and Demon Island, leaving out Western Air Temple, Small Brawlhaven, and Small Fortress of Lions. We're going to go to Fortress of Lions for game number 1.
Yeah, it's a fairly neutral map. I think this and Apocalypse. I mean, the higher ceilings, but one platform, so you don't have to worry about too many platforms, but not, some of the more claustrophobic, like, platformless maps. This is how, generally, like, you started out, you get a feel for your opponent, how the set might go. As we get started right into it, and Tiger already running across the screen, a nice unarmed side light. You love to see that move. Just comes out all the time. He gets the weapon first, and Tiger's so far starting to take a bit of damage from these gauntlets. I mean, the Tezuka with the gauntlets and the boots, I think a lot, it just gets enabled by this aggression that I would say Southeast Asia is somewhat known for on hit, right? They don't want to go back, as Keith already putting the hurt onto Tiger. Setting him far to the left with that Sair, and
another one! Oh my!
Another Sair. Keith knocking him out, takes a significant lead in this game 1.
Yeah, Keith has, he does have gauntlets experience, because when he won Springs, I believe in last year, he was playing on the Rayman. So gauntlets isn't exactly new for him. The battle boots isn't new for everyone. And at the moment, both of these weapons just seem to be building up a lot of damage. Tries to pick up a second side light, but now it's Tiger swapping over to the both side signature, not able to get the KO just yet. Tries to go for the end-sig, but Tiger manages to get up and away from it just nicely. Another neutral air picking up the dodge. Keith trying to go for a GC, but just nothing untoward it. And now, downlight, side air, not enough to get the KO just yet. Tries to push for that side sig, but puts Tiger on the wall, and I think Keith might have just decided to, he either decided to give up or his internet decided to do a little whoopsie. Yeah. Something tells me the first option. I'm not going to lie to you. There's another side air. It's not enough to get the KO just yet, but Tiger managing to avoid a second side air nicely. Which, that seems to be a lot of Tiger's bane at the moment, is he can play very well on stage, but as soon as the ground is taken beneath his feet, he struggles We're seeing that a lot as he's been put off stage again, keeps himself on the ground, tries to go for a recovery, but nothing happens with it. And now Keith trying to find his way around. Yeah, gets away from that sidelight quite nicely. There's a recovery there from Tiger. Now
Keith
both
is
of
all
these
over
players...
him right now. Tiger's in
Yeah,
so much
just-
trouble. It's such a lead that he has at the moment with these boots that he can play from center stage. And Tiger, I mean, he has to take so many aggressive options. And I mean, with Keith, he's just been playing against that so well. He's got a lot of these follow-ups. He's got Tiger scared. He's
Oh,
got
there's a ground
all the
pound,
way at the
and
bottom
another
of the
one!
screen, another
Tiger did get the touch though,
Yeah.
but a third one is going to get the KO, and Keith puts himself 1-0 up against Tiger.
I mean, he was just all over him that game. If you're Tiger, right, you just have to reset. That game, honestly, as far as he should be concerned, did not happen. Immediately, a legend swap. It's really tough after a game like that. I mean, a complete 2-stock where it really felt like the only stock that Keith lost was the one where he SD'd at the bottom of the screen. There's not a lot to be found as far as mentality moving forward for Tiger in the next game. So you just got to pretend like this is game one. This is a nice mental reset, going onto the Yumiko, back onto the same stage, and looking for, I think, a lot of, like with the Yumiko, you get this high dex and this high speed, and you can find much more faster and aggressive options that might be able to beat out this Tezuka and hopefully beat Keith at his own game, I guess, with the aggression. But we'll see if it works out, because at the moment Keith is playing hot and Tiger is in a lot of trouble. Although as he gets started in this game, he's starting to get a couple extra string hits in and starting to brawl a little bit. Both players just trading hits as Keith just playing center stage so effectively, finally knocked to the side, and Tiger weapon starving, disarming, and Keith playing from a little bit behind so far in this game one.
Yeah, runs into that down sig, but Tiger can't get the recovery either. Down light into the side air on the boots, and now he has the edge guard. Tiger trying to sweep himself away, gets the read, and that's gonna actually get the KO there. The side signature just pushing Keith far enough away, and somehow that got that KO. Tiger now, he's onto the hammer, which I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't exactly expecting a Yumiko pick, but he's using these down signatures effectively. It's just a big, hey, you can't go here kind of move. So if you're managing to use them quite effectively, then you'll be able to control where your opponent goes, and especially with Bo, with having the ability to juggle, and Hammer with its juggling ability as well. It has down air, it has nair, as Keith does get that KO. The downlight Sam managing to get it, and Keith priming the boots and keeping the weapon away from Tiger as well. Now Tiger, he is keeping onto this bow, onto this hammer I should say, down signature, which he does avoid, but a side air, tries to go for a second one, just avoids it. Both of these players transcending themselves into the neutral game. Tries to find something else. Downlight Sair on the hammer. Ooh, just manages to trampoline themselves on that down sig.
Yeah, Tiger's doing so good at putting Keith into the corner, and Keith's struggling to play out of it so far. He's taken a lot of damage onto the second stock and trying to build up some ground. A nice GC headlight. He has no options. Oh, he barely got the touch. And Tiger with a breath of life in the stock that should have been gone already. This would have been a significant advantage for Keith, although Keith down air is going to do it. Tiger takes the lead back. Honestly, this should have been 2 stocks to 1 for Keith, but Tiger just barely able to make it back, and all of a sudden the game is flipped on its head. Tiger, who is starting early with the lead, has once again regained it and just trying to get some extra credit with this bow on this Yumiko, the high dex. And I think you did say it's very correct. I could tell these down signatures, they're starting to just push away this aggression from Keith, as Tiger, who chooses aggression of his own out of the down signatures, Keith struggling to play in these situations where he's not sure if he's going to get pushed away by these down signatures, if he's able to get in, and Tiger seems to have made quite the adjustment in this game too, as he's already taking such a lead, putting so much damage onto Keith on this final stock, who can't seem to find this KO option. He's hunting for these recoveries, but grounded, finally going to do it. Gravity cancel downlight into recovery is going to clean it up, but still quite the lead for Tiger.
Yeah, it is. The lead is definitely very effective at the moment for Tiger. All he's got to do is, just try not to get hit, try not to lend yourself into Keith's hands, because if Keith is able to control the tempo, he will really run you down, which is what he's doing at the moment. He's managed to almost even up the damage. Now Tiger swapping over to the hammer, catching the dodge with the Sair, tries to go for the recovery, but it doesn't connect, and Keith Manit can't get the wall touch, and it's going to be 1-1.
Yeah, definitely a huge adjustment from Tiger. I mean, even though it looked pretty bad in that middle stock, it could have lost the stock, but Tiger had a significant advantage at the start, and towards the end started to build it back. So this might be the momentum that Tiger needs to move into this third game, because Keith really didn't have the answers towards the end of that game. I mean, he was just getting edge guarded, these hammer moves left and right. These down signatures are pushing him away, creating so much space for Tiger, and definitely a really great adjustment from Tiger in that game, but no character swap for Keith. Keith wants to stay right on this Tesca, the boots, the gauntlets. Such a great combination so far. It works so great in game one. Keith, they go to Demon Island, a new map, a bit of a claustrophobic map, in my opinion, where there's not a lot of room. These short walls, the ceilings are a little close, and Keith getting it started already, stringing a couple hits together with these recoveries and nairs. Battle Boots do such a great job, pretty similar to Gauntlets, in that they're able to just keep you in a spot where they can hit you with multiple different moves. You're kind of kept guessing at all times, and Keith just runs up with the Sair, starting to play this aggression very well. It's exactly the game that Keith wants to play so far, as Tiger has started to take a bit of a disadvantage in this third game.
Yeah, he gets the side air, which pushes Tiger off stage. Try to catch him with the sidelight, but Tesca managing to avoid it nicely. That's a down signature, picking up the dodge, and it takes the KO with him. Nice little treat there for Keith. You know, he ordered fries, and he managed to get nuggets with it as well. And now he's trying to push Tiger off stage, but trying to get the hammer to 2 bits is Tiger. There's a nair into the recovery. Tiger not dodging out of the way. A second recovery is going to connect. It's just a lot of damage built. That Ensig! Keith is gone. That managing to connect, and Tiger was just close enough to the edge of the stage where Keith just fell down into the abyss.
Yeah, the awareness to do that signature in the center stage there, where Keith had already used his recovery, so he basically had nothing. I mean, there was the whole stock from one neutral signature in center stage. The awareness from Tiger there is very good, as he has started to take a bit of damage on the second stock, but I mean, it's a little tough to find the KO here, but I mean, Keith, these downlights, it's a huge way to play this game for Boots. You just got to find these downlights. If you can find these downlights, you're able to win the game so much better. The game becomes so much harder if you can't. Keith has done such a great job of finding them. These downlight Sairs, these downlight recoveries. He's just done such a great job, and Tiger can't seem to play into the Boots so far into game 3. Trying to play around center stage with his bow, but again, downlight Sair. Keith takes the stock, almost up an entire stock so far in this game 3.
Yeah, it's we're definitely seeing it a lot with oh no, picks up the read, gets a sidelight, but decides not to go for anything more. But yeah, we're seeing just Keith is just building like a lot of damage on these boots, just picking up the dodge. Another dodge picked up there by Keith. Tries to go for the GC Ensig, but doesn't connect. There's another side air there by Keith, and the side signature tries to find some more. Tiger managing to get a ground pound while he had no options. There's a recovery there on the bow. Keith had nothing, but he makes his way back. The down signature comes out. The wisps go away after the weapon throw connects. Now Tiger tries to put himself back into the center stage. Just recovery, try to fish for it. Maybe there is the recovery, but it didn't connect. And now Keith has center stage. Side light, down. There's, down light into the side air. Tiger has nothing, and the GC side light is going to confirm that Tiger has no options. And right now, it is 2-1 to Keith.
Yeah, we could see that Keith on the Tesco was doing such a great job of keeping Tiger grounded and staying grounded himself and playing this downlight game where Tiger can't get these juggles. Bow and hammer so good at juggling, particularly this hammer down signature is so great at keeping people up in the air, and Keith just stayed on the ground. He made him play the grounded game, and Tiger was struggling against it, and has opted to decide to switch to the Bryn, a complete weapon swap from the previous two. I mean, Tiger could play pretty much anything probably, so we'll see what he's got in store for this, but already getting started onto the Axe, hoping to build up some nice damage. Axe with a really high damage on a pretty nice Force Legend is Bryn. Can just a couple straight hits will connect into nearly a stock if Tiger can connect them so far. But as we get started, Tiger seems to be doing a pretty good job. Finds the dodge out of sidelight nair with another nair. really good so far from Tiger on this axe, as Keith trying to make up the ground with his boots, trying to catch him in the corner. But Tiger's done such a great job of playing out of the corner so far in this game. Down signature not going to connect. Keith with the punish, but only one hit. Both players playing around this platform so far, both missing an end light in the wrong direction, and Keith looks to be the one to win out of that situation, but gets axe sared, and now Tiger's stage control and spear. One strong hit will probably do it in this first stock. Tiger gets down light sared. Keith hunting with his boots, trying to build up the damage. Game is now pretty much even from the nice advantage that Tiger had earlier. Downlight doesn't connect, and the down signature does. Tiger with a response gets the first stock in game 4.
Yeah, this Bryn, I've casted tournaments and I've hosted tournaments where Tiger has played the Bryn in it. So this isn't just like a run-of-the-mill, I have no idea what to do. Yeah, this is not a panic pick. This is a pick that Tiger has in his back pocket, and he pulls it out whenever he pleases. He's probably hoping that the spear is going to be able to just, you know, parry a lot of the boots options, because it's such a quick weapon. And that downlight Sare finally managing to get the KO for Keith, but you know, the damage deficit isn't as far as it possibly could be for Tiger's hopes. You know, Keith at the moment, you know, kind of almost getting close to bleeding into the orange. Ground pound connecting. Keith had nothing, but does get a nair recovery nair. 3-piece there for Keith. There's a neutral. I try to search for more, but Tiger manages to get the punish. There's a side egg, goes for the side signature, manages to connect, but just catching the top of the sig. So Tiger managed to get sent up a little bit, which might have, if it managed to connect with the heart and the soul of the signature, it might have KO'd, but it's going to be the side air on the axe for Tiger, punishing Keith, which will get him the stock.
Yeah, I mean, Keith, he's been living and dying by these side signatures on the side, and that time he was not living. That almost worked out for him. He got punished by an axe Sare. He will punish that hard commitment side light on the corner with D-Light Sare, and a pretty even game so far. I think the difference maker so far has been Keith trying to catch these jumps off stage with these side signatures. If he's able to do it on this final stock, he'll be able to take this set. But so far, he is connecting on a lot of these grounded options, but Tiger finally able to pick up a weapon. The weapon starve was so problematic for him. But finally, oh no, Keith, couple stringed hits, the nairs, the recoveries. It's becoming such a problem for Tiger. He's taken a bit too much damage in this game so far. Really, his back is against the wall. This is not the situation he wants to be in. He finds the neutral signature on Keith. Keith hunting with this ground pound, a couple extra hits. Tiger's almost in KO %. If Keith can just get one or two more, there it is, sends him off stage. Doesn't opt to go out hunting for it, but the side signature, and he's gonna do it. Keith takes the set 3-1.
That really ran into Keith's favor so quickly. The boots just were too much for Tiger to be able to handle, and he ends up finding himself onto the elimination side of the bracket, and Keith gets himself into the winner's top 8, where he will be facing up against Himway, who is, I believe Himway is seed 1, but at the moment, that's not going to be the match that we go to next. However, where we are going to go to, it is going to be Vortex up against Reaper. So both of these players, you know, they're Two's teammates. They've played against each other a lot. They've fought, they've won, they've lost. This is one of those matches in the Southeast Asian region where you can't help but keep watching. You don't want to look away from it, and it'll be interesting to see what happens here at the moment. It looks like Vortex already has himself locked in on the Asuri, and it looks like Reaper has the Asuri himself as well, so a little bit of a Ditto match coming up here between these two. But yeah, I'll be interested to see how this plays out between them. You know, the Ditto, and in a tournament where, you know, if you win from here, you go into the top 8 side of the bracket. But yeah, I'll be interested to see where this goes from here. Both of these players, by the way, I have to mention, they've put on their 2v2 World Championship of 21 title. So you would imagine that they know each other well.
Definitely. And they played the last major they played against each other in the elimination side of top 8, where Vortex with a fairly quick 3-0 over Reaper. So I mean, this may be a bit of a revenge game between the two. I mean, the major was a long time ago, but I think it doesn't leave your head that quickly. It's particularly for Reaper, the one you go out to is more than anything, I think, the one that you remember. So coming right back into it, and an Asuri Ditto on Enigma, a map I do not see very often. So I'm fairly excited. A low ceiling, 3 platforms. I think we're going to get a very fast-paced game. Both players with great platform movement can just fly around the map on a pretty decent speed character. I believe Asuri with the 6 speed, as Vortex getting it started with these guitars, these fan guitars, I believe, from a Lin Fei setup. So nice drip on Vortex already. Just
sorry, I have to politically correct you. That is a Queen Knight crossover.
Oh no.
I'm a Queen Knight main. I'm sorry. I have to interject there. Like, that is a Queen. That is from Asuka. That is
Whatever
from
it
Asuka.
is, it looks nice. It looks very nice. I like the
Okay,
setup.
it's a nice skin. I'm gonna be honest. I like the fan guitars. Ooh, side sync coming out there from Reaper on the sword, which it's gonna knock Vortex off to the side, but he makes his way back now. Both of these players just dancing around with a sword. That's what I like about these two players at the moment. It's the battle between these two looks closer to a dance than it does like a full-blown like hack and slash. It's beautiful, it's engaging, they're going back and forth between each other, and it's not going to take long before one of these players manages to find the KO. And place your bets, it's going to be Vortex. I did a rhyme, call me Dr. Seuss on that one, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, Vortex at the moment, he does have to lead both of these players. It's very close. It almost comes down to basically fortune if you're able to, you know, get the KOs that you need, get the reads, get the punishes especially. Vortex sent off to the side. He does make his way back, and now he's going to be able to build more damage and make this stock last a little bit longer. Reaper can't find a KO option. He does finally, after punishing that Ensig. After getting the dodge down, it looks like Reaper, he's sticking with the katars and priming them as well. So when he loses this set of weapons, he will get another set of katars, but I mean, if he's able to build up a lot of damage onto Vortex and get the KO, but at the moment he's been knocked down, but he puts himself over to the other side of the map, the down signature connecting, and it manages to get the KO as well. Reaper tried to get away from it, but he just unfortunately dodged through one of the hitboxes, and it just cleaned him up like a janitor, that one.
Yeah, Vortex, I think a lot of the difference maker in this game so far is that Vortex has been playing off the wall very well and already putting Reaper right onto it. I mean, this lead is so big for Vortex, and with Katars, this can feel so demoralizing. You're taking so many stray hits, and it's just mounting and mounting for the damage. I mean, Vortex has a very nice lead so far. Finally gets punished for a side signature, and gets punished off the wall, which is something that Reaper has been finding so far. So Vortex struggling to play out of the corner on the second stock, but still with this lead. I mean, he just wants to milk this, to trade hits, and try to turn this into a nearly unwinnable game if he loses it on the stock. But I mean, Vortex catching these landings, these N-lights, these D-lights, they're so good. He catches the dodge, not able to find a recovery, but the D-light recovery, not gonna do it. I cannot believe that did not KO there, although he got to the stage, gets N-light recovery. Vortex, solid game one from him. And I think a lot of it is down to how he was playing off the wall, where he would be able to ledge dash into Reaper, who was trying to hold it with sword usually, and he would get delighted or side-lighted by guitars. So it felt like even though Vortex would be in disadvantage, he was still kind of an advantage in that game.
Yeah, it's a lot of what Vortex was able to do was just avoid the KO options from Reaper, and then just, you know, build damage on himself. And when the stock finally went, Reaper was already an orange. So Reaper's got to try and claw his way back. He is swapping off the Asuri though, not liking the Ditto, giving himself the Hattori instead. So now both of these players really going to try and dance through. Now there's a lot of sword damage being built up by Reaper onto Vortex. He hasn't been touched once. Finally gets hit by a down air, but Vortex is already in the red. There's a Neutralite managing to connect the dodge just a little bit through the hitboxes. Vortex trying to pick up the GC downline to the recovery. That's going to be enough to get the KO, and Reaper has enough damage here. He's gotten enough damage. He's adapted very well in compared to game 1, and now he has a very, very healthy lead.
Yeah, I mean, Reaper coming from that pretty rough one has been just dominant in this game so far. That was a really clean stock coming from him, and now trading hits on this this second stock for Vortex is not what you want to see, because you just want to find this KO, but with guitars it's so difficult, not able to catch a dodge. So a side lane really doesn't mean anything for you. It's just a little bit of extra damage. Reaper is perfectly fine with getting hit by that. A Sair will send him off, but Vortex not able to find it. Reaper's still on the wall, a pretty scary spot, but he makes it back, dodges through. I mean, the spacing from Reaper so far in this game too is so good. He end lights because Vortex with the landing gets beat out by priority, and Vortex in so much trouble. I mean, this is a whole stock lead for Reaper so far, trying to play her on this platform, but he just moves around it, and then the delay recovery. Reaper with a 2-stock lead on Vortex right now. Oh man, recovery is gonna do it. Vortex.
Yeah, we're seeing that Reaper, what Vortex was doing in game 1 is what Reaper is doing in game 2.
Yeah.
It is a complete adaptation here from Reaper. He's building a lot of this damage, and now he's just got to be careful to not try and sell away any of these stocks. Try not to go for any silly punishes or anything anything of the like. But at the moment, Reaper is building up a bit of damage. Vortex try to go for the read, but Reaper with an easy punish, downlight into the side air. And now both of these players are in orange, but there's an entire stock difference comparatively. Vortex try to get away, gets in a sidelight end light, which puts Reaper into the red. It only takes maybe a couple downlight into the downlight side air. Not enough to get the KO just yet. One more of those will, as he picks up the katars, tries to go for the recovery, but it just misses. There's a nice down sync there from Vortex, putting Reaper all the way over to the other side. The recovery, Vortex still has a chance, but he's got to play a perfect game.
Yeah, but I mean, Katars, if he's able to find these dodges, which he's done so far already, building up some nice damage. I mean, Reaper really does not want to commit the dodge here and take way too much damage, but Vortex just knows. And he's able to find these punishes, these double delights, and all of a sudden, I mean, I think we have ourselves a game here. I think Vortex is starting to turn it on. Although that end light, that spells trouble for Vortex right now. All it takes is just one dare. It doesn't connect, the recovery will, but at the top of the screen, Vortex, honestly, in a safe space, I mean, with Spear, he would have to find a recovery, a Sair, some kind of delay, and that's really tough. A recovery rounded will do it, but that game got scary for Reaper.
That got a little bit scary there. Vortex just kind of, I mean, you could say he just woke up a little bit, because everything just clicked into gear for Vortex towards the end there. He was just building up damage while Reaper wasn't able to get that KO option, connecting in time. But now it's 1-1, and it's anyone's game here.
I think personally, if I'm a Reaper or Vortex, sorry, I feel a lot more comfortable in this game because it looked really bad towards the start, and he was able to make the comeback. And even though he couldn't find the win, it's a boost of confidence that that won't happen again. You've still got momentum carrying into this next game, where both characters, same maps, same weapons. Clearly, Vortex thinks that he could have won that game with just a little bit of better play in this game. Vortex, both players just dancing around each other a little bit, just trying to break neutral. Vortex, the first one to do it, gonna find 3 hits. I mean, with Katars, you could just take them to the top of the screen. You could find these extra bonus hits if you catch one dodge. I mean, wow, Reaper catching a nice jump there, but it feels like when Reaper hits him, they go right back to neutral. When Vortex hits him, he's just an advantage forever. And finally, Reaper able to connect on a couple hits. This weapon throw, it's a little scary. Grounded, not where he wants to be. The downlight Sair, not gonna do it. Vortex off to the right side. Hunts him with the Sair. Reaper able to take the stock pretty clean on this sword, and about a half stock advantage moving into the second stock for Vortex.
Yeah, Vortex at the moment, he's gonna have to try and adapt. Does get the downlight into the GC neutral heavy on the unarmed. But now Reaper at the moment, he does have the chance to try and get the edge guard, but doesn't succeed at it. Another side air there, just punishing Reaper, who's put him off stage. Nice downlight into the side air. That's going to be able to get the KO for Vortex. It is pretty even here at the moment. Vortex is a little bit into the yellow here, but right now he's keeping the weapons away from Reaper. He's primed himself with some katars, and Reaper at the moment, he does finally manage to get onto a weapon, but not before Vortex gets the read. Nice GC, picks up the dodge as well. Oh, nice neutral air wake up there by Reaper.
Oh
But now Vortex is just he has arisen. And Reaper manages to make his way back. GC down sig, not connecting, tries to find the recovery, but that's not connecting either. Another
Reaper's just getting
recovery,
headlighted.
tries to
It's so problematic for him.
he's sending out these recoveries like a businessman is sending out emails. It's just left, right, and center. Finally, one connects, and he gets the reply with a confirmed KO there. You know, it's risky business, but business nonetheless here for Vortex.
Yeah, I mean, Vortex with these end lights is just so powerful so far, and he's done such a great job of catching these dodges out of them that, I mean, the move feels patented by Vortex. He can hit it, no problem. He's been hitting GC end lights by dodging a move. He's still alive. No struggle for him so far on this stock. He just wants to take some extra credit, and Reaper still can't find the stock. Vortex finally in a really rough position, but Reaper still cannot capitalize. Able to make it back to the stage. Weapon throw will connect, but I mean, these side lights, it's not a big deal for Vortex. It's just a little bit of extra damage, and when you're not finding that KO, Vortex really does not mind. So these weapon throws, these side lights, I mean, he really wants the sword. Finally able to find the recovery, but Reaper just took so much damage on that final stock. It looks like Vortex is in such a great position to take this game. He has a nice pushy lead, just needs to pick up this weapon, is able to do it, hopefully gonna catch landings with these end lights, which has been working for him so well this entire game. But Reaper's starting to play around these platforms really well, not letting his landings be caught, dashing off or falling through them, keeping Vortex guessing as to what option he's going to do off of a platform. And this game has started to become a little even. Vortex wants the sword, knows the guitars have not been working out, and is starting to collect a couple hits. But still, this game has gotten so close for Vortex that it feels like you need to close it out now, because Reaper's playing with a bit of momentum, but the D-Light Sarah is
that's gonna do it.
Vortex shuts it down and takes the game free.
Yeah, Vortex with the game 3. It was interesting because game 1, almost a complete wipe for Vortex. Game 2, Vortex almost brought it back, but Reaper just shut him down. And game 3 was a lot closer. We're going to move to Miami Dome. No legend swaps from that either. So Reaper probably happy with the Hattori, which, you know, I haven't seen a lot of Hattori spear come out here from Reaper, which, you know, he's still keeping alongside with the sword, you know, getting the hits every now and then on spear, but doesn't seem to be what's really carrying him through. He does get a side light, does pick up the dodge, potentially thought about the recovery, but Vortex sends himself down. And now Vortex does get the side light. Now both of these players transcending into the neutral. Vortex picking up the katars instead. The weapon option was there, and he decided to take it. Tries to pick up the dodge, but the Nair not connecting. But these players transcending into the neutral again, which is probably where Reaper will be best at if he is able to keep himself in neutral. Because as soon as he gets into disadvantage, especially against katars, he's going to have a very hard time trying to get away from it. There's a downlight into the recovery. Try to find something else. Second recovery. The KO. Vortex just turned that situation on its head. Oh my lord, Vortex.
And I mean, the awareness is one, but that's so scary for Vortex too, because if he doesn't connect on that, he fully chase launched to the top of the screen and used a recovery and a jump. I mean, at that point, it's just curtains, and Reaper's able to hit him with a recovery. So, I mean, he bet it all on Black there, and finally able to connect. But I mean, the lead has not grown that much, and he's found the KO, so this is turned back into a fairly even game. Reaper wants to bring it back, settle it back down to neutral a little bit. Vortex wants to break it open with the guitars, but so far, he's not been able to do so. He's getting weapon starved, but man, an unlucky weapon throw for Reaper. Not able to find it, disarmed himself, picks up the spear, but as you said, it hasn't really been the weapon that's been working out for him the most in this game. Probably would rather be on the sword in this situation, but I mean, you play with the cards you're dealt, and Reaper so far has been playing them well. He's been playing around neutral, hasn't been hit too much, and has been connecting on these aerials, these dares, these sares. it's been working out for him, but both players, I mean, they're kind of trading hits, but it's been working out in the favor of Vortex because Reaper's taking a little bit of damage, not what he wants to be, but bring this back, only a couple hits, a bit of a command from Vortex, but no punish, and now Reaper's in the KO %, right where Vortex wants him to be when he has this sword in hand, where you can find these really easy KOs with these Sayers, these delay Sayers and delay recoveries. I mean, sword is just so great at breaking open neutral and finding the KOs. As we see there, these delay Sayers, all of a sudden, Vortex starting to take a bit of damage. If Reaper is able to find a couple neutral wins, he can turn this game on its head, break out the defibrillator, and bring this game back to life for him. So far, he hasn't been able to do it, although he catches the dodge delay Sayer. Not able to connect, but these nairs are working out. And Reaper...
Yeah, oh, GC headsick from there?
Not gonna
you
do it.
silly little guy. There's a recovery. And Vortex, he puts himself in a really good position at the moment, primes himself with the Katars. And it's him that's performing CPR on Reaper because it's not looking like a pleasant situation. He got hit by a blue bottle at the beach, and now Reaper is panicking. Does finally get the recovery, which does take the stock. And we are even here in Game 4, but if Vortex takes this from here, he puts himself into the top 8 winner side. But if Reaper takes it from here, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have our first Game 5 this evening.
Yeah, and I mean, Reaper's back is against the wall right now. And he's taking a lead in this game, but up at the top of the screen, not where you want to be. Bit of a reminder from that first stock. Although, these end lights, I mean, Vortex has been in a little bit of trouble so far. The game has moved back to fairly even, but it was a nice lead for Reaper at the start of this last stock. But now they've been trading hits, finding, I mean, both players just hunting for a sword. Ariel, some end light, please. One of my end lights or D-lights connect that they can move into a nice advantage.
Oh, GC down like wreck. No, that's not going to get the KO just yet.
So close.
So close. Now Reaper has put himself onto the spear. Both of these players just trying to dance it out in neutral. Downlight recovery again. That's going to get the KO, and Vortex puts himself into the top 8, 3-1.
I mean,
it was a really good set.
Complete comebacks. Game 2 and 3 were looked out of reach, and then almost became wild comebacks that were shut down. So definitely a very close set that the 3-1 score does not reflect. But well played from both players. But Vortex just able to pull it out. As we move into our top 8 on top side of bracket, we have Himway, we have Keith. I mean, Himway, the PR1, he won the last major, looked dominant in grands. I think it was a 3-0 in winners finals and in grand finals. And Keith, hoping to reclaim some of that former glory. A year ago in Springs, he took first, and since then has not gotten top 4, just looking to take back what was rightfully his about a year ago. And I think both players want this very bad. I think it's going to be a very good set between the two of them.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Himway, you know, I was watching him grind in ranked last night. He was on the Asuri for there, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out into Keith, which Katars probably, I'm going to be honest, I think I'd probably favor Katars into the boots and especially the gauntlets. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out from here. Two very strong opponents in this region, and the Titans are just going to end up clashing, which we're going to see who ends up taking that one. I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of wants Keith to just win Springs. Just all the Springs from now on in is Keith's, and no one else can have it. I kind of just want that to happen just because it'd be a little bit hilarious. Gonna be honest.
That would be funny. I mean, if Spring was just his season, right? And the second that March 21st comes out, he's got about 3 months of, this is my time. This is when I'm playing my best. I'm going to win this season. I'm going to play great. But, I mean, from that previous game, Keith was playing pretty good, so I think he's got a lot of momentum riding into this one. And Himway prior was a 3-0 on the Asuri, which a little surprising to see. I think I'd usually know Himway for the Bode Bar, particularly in the last major, but maybe, I mean, Asuri has been a very popular legend recently, definitely in the last major leading up to this one, all the way through the Winter Royale. So I think we're going to see a lot of the Asuri, a lot of the guitars. We saw an Asuri Ditto in the last set. And I'm not complaining. I really do enjoy seeing a lot of the ways that top level players are able to find these reactions and these reads out of like end lights and D lights, because guitars just give you, it feels like such a free flowing weapon. You can do so much more than you can on most other weapons. So definitely makes for some exciting gameplay. I think we're going to get a really good set here with this Asuri, more than likely, and Keith on the God knows what at this point. It could be anything, but definitely looking forward to it.
We're just waiting on Himway to join the lobby at the moment. I have him in my friends list. What is he doing? He's spectating someone. Lord. Okay. Himway, I don't know if you can hear me, but you have a match on stream? Can you hear me, my man?
He was in chat. Who knows?
Oh, he literally just messaged me on stream. I'm coming. He can hear me. Okay, Himway. Oh god. All right. All right. So it looks like Himway is arriving. It took a little bit. I'm sorry, that just made me laugh. Oh goodness
Scary,
gracious me.
Like, Keith might be hearing boss music right now. I mean, Himway's been on a tear, so I think this might be a little scary. And the two of them, I mean, set history. Himway's looked pretty great. He's up 4-1 in autumns. He 3-0'd him. I think. I mean, it might be a little rough.
Look, in autumns they didn't have Teska. That's all I'm saying. I'm not
fair.
saying anything
It's
else.
very different.
In autumns they didn't have Teska. So look, I'm not saying in the slightest that Teska is a carry. No way. But Teska is definitely a very, very good legend. And looks like as soon as Himway joined the lobby, looks like he's just restarting his PC. So, I mean, that definitely happens. It's online. Sometimes stuff breaks. That happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's we he just messaged me just then. He's restarting. Just restarting the game. He's just joining through now. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes from here. So
I think these boots, I mean, we'll see. I'm not sure if Keith played them in Winters. I don't think he did. So we'll see. This might just be a completely new Keith. I mean, we saw every time a new weapon comes out, the greatsword, the boots. You've got these players who maybe were a little bit, they would place a little lower before all of a sudden their placements go way up because they find a new reinvigorated love of the game and they learn so much more on a different weapon. So maybe this is just a whole new Keith. Maybe this is a completely different beast that Himway has not seen before, at least in a major. So who knows what we're about to get, but I think it's definitely going to be a very good set as we move right into it. Himway on the Asuri, Keith on the Teska, right to Demon Island. Very claustrophobic map with these short walls. And Keith definitely wants to keep this grounded game coming from the nice set he had last time. Moving right into it as Himway already getting started with these weapon stars. Looking with these guitars, hunting some of these, a lot of what he's doing is he's hunting for these nairs that he's able to find some kind of true follow-up off of, because at low percents, guitar nair can find a true combo with the side light, some kind of D-light. Keith wants to get out of that percent because that's where you're comfortable, where you cannot get true comboed, and all of a sudden you have these wake up and fast call options that you can bring into your kit. As Keith started to build up some nice damage with these gauntlets, a nice wake up too, and a little bit of a lag.
Yeah. Yeah, Keith's internet has not been the greatest. Oh, another end light recovery from Himway. He's just keeping the weapons away from Keith, but loses one of his own. He's now going to pick up the sword, hoping to try and find some recoveries, maybe some downlight wrecks, maybe some downlight sares, just anything that will be able to get you that KO. Gets the weapon throw, which interrupts the recovery. The Nair tries to go for a GC, but Himway does get around it, gets the side air. He now has the edge guard swap, picking up the sword again. Downlight recovery, that's going to be enough to get the KO for Himway.
A really interesting back and forth first stock between the two of them. I mean, Keith was building up some nice damage on those gauntlets, but oh my god. Man, Keith loves that. He was doing that entirely in the last set. I mean, you have to be aware. You cannot just be asleep at the wheel sometimes. These side signatures from Keith they'll just run at you, and you gotta see it coming. You have to space him out, and Keith so far has been making bank off that. Hopefully, Himway will be able to find some kind of adjustment against it. But, I mean, we've got an even game. Himway definitely no slouch so far on these Katars, on this Asuri, playing with this nice speed. But Keith, with these combos, these boots, these D-lights, Sares, been working out so great for him so far. Although Himway building up some damage, gets the dodge and read, and finding a lot of these stray hits. Keith wasn't able to play out of the corner, finally able to get a weapon, but commits too hard on this neutral signature, and Himway has built up a lot of damage onto the second stock. Keith nearly in KO percent. Himway just a couple more hits will do it. Another dare, and all of a sudden these D-light recoveries and D-light Sares will be terrifying for Keith to deal with. He has to think about so much more because that sword GC D-light is so strong. Recovery not going to do it, but now Keith, oh, no punish. Just barely didn't get hit by that D-light. That neutral signature set him high enough. Himway didn't go for it this time, gets D-light Sared, but he's fairly healthy on this stock. He's not in KO percent. A couple more hits from Keith will bring this to an even game, but Himway wants to find a D-light, and he does. D-light Sared is going to connect Himway with a nice lead on this last stock of Keith, where it's been looking so great for him this entire game.
Oh, the haymaker comes out, tries to get the gauntlet weapon throw, but it doesn't connect. Now Himway gets the dodge again, tries to read Keith's dash, but Keith just decided to stand there and take it as Himway took the side sig straight into the face as Himway goes flying. But right now Keith is in the orange. He's gonna have to try and hope for some battle boots calamity. He does get a recovery, try to find a second nair, which didn't connect. There's a, trying to fish for these down airs. Oh no, the GC burnt. Himway decides to not to follow up after the side light. GC down light there, down light recovery as well. Not enough to get the KO just yet. And now gets a side light, does get the follow-up Sair afterwards. Side air takes the GC. Keith doesn't have much. The unarmed ground pound, and Himway is going to take game one.
Yeah, Himway, a fairly dominant game, but Jesus, I mean, Keith with these side signatures. It's like night and day with him, where he'll find a KO with it, and then immediately he'll like throw away an advantage or neutral, and get into a really rough position. I mean, if you want to build your playstyle around something like that, I mean, you got to commit to it. And he's definitely done it so far, and you can tell. I think a lot of these legend selections from Keith are legends that have a very similar side signature to the unarmed side signature, something that moves you forward and sends them really far. This side sig on boots, very much like it, and he's opted to switch to the Bryn. And so with this spear side signature, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that too. A very fast and high force move that might get these early stocks out of Himway that will turn this game for Keith. But that first game looked a little rough for him, so hopefully he'll be able to make an adjustment in this game too.
Yeah, we're going to find that out in due time, which the Bryn swap, it's definitely, you're going from a legend which is definitely a lot more flashy, definitely has a lot of grappling moves, and then you swap to Bryn, which probably a little more stock standard, which it's if sometimes the flashy thing just doesn't work. It's cool when you're in advantage, but you're not able to bring yourself into a good piece of neutral. You're not able to get yourself out of disadvantage, and that's probably what Keith is thinking right now with the Bryn, where a lot of spear and a lot of axe is just one hit, maybe two, transcend itself back into neutral, and he'll probably try and use a lot of that to get out of the Katar's advantage that it has, because if Katar's can get into advantage, it is very, very strong. In neutral, it is okay. So, you probably want your opponent to be in an okay position rather than a really good one, unless you're a maniac. And, I don't know, at that point, oh my goodness, the down heavy on the unarmed, and Keith is gone. Himway in the slice of pizza as the stock is flown off to the side of the screen. And now, Himway, he does have a chance to be able to build up a lot more damage onto Keith, but Keith is going to have to try and not let himself, he's going to have to try and get rid of this stock as quickly as possible without a lot of damage being built up onto him. The down air, a second one, is going to get rid of Himway's stock, so it is a decent position for Keith, but he's going to have to be able to try and get out of, he's going to have to try and, just beat Himway's neutral. Just try and bait him with the movement. Try not to just flourish out attacks, because Himway is just going to be able to run you down with Katars.
Yeah, so far he's done such a great job of that. Himway's guitars have been a little dominant in this game. A lot of what you want to do in this matchup, the spear into guitars, is you want to wall out guitars. But so far, I mean, Himway just seems on top of the situation, just getting through these end lights, these D lights that spear is so good at punishing with, and sending Himway flying. I mean, Himway has put so much hurt on the second stock of Keith that Keith has to play really scared of this sword now. These D-lights are very scary. I mean, no fear from Keith, I guess, with the ground pounds, but maybe he should be. A ground pound.
Yeah, don't
wall.
mind the downlight. How about just a straight up ground pound?
Yeah,
Just why not?
quite
Your
the
opponent's
commitment.
there. He's not going to have much time to react to it, and it'll just hit him. Keith trying to go for a second recovery after the first one hit. Himway does make his way back onto stage. They've put themselves back into neutral, and now it's just a case of, maybe just try and stray for the one hit or the two as Keith gets an end light, tries to go for the recovery, the weapon throw, try to bait out Himway, but Himway's just going to be able to get the punish. Doesn't get a lot for it, though, as Keith gets a side air on both weapons, as it's going to find him the KO. And now Keith has a chance to be able to bring this back. He's going to be trying to look for just a lot of neutralites, maybe a downlight if Himway is just floating in the air. Side light Nares is going to be able to bring him 30 damage, and you probably want to try and look for a couple down airs as well, as Keith hits a couple, and he's put Himway onto the edge here. Nice side of there from Himway, try to go for that NSIG punish. The recovery missed. Himway punishes that as well. Tries to go for another NSIG, another side light Nair. The same situation happening again. What is this matrix going on here? Himway try to find another side air as well, but he does find it that time, and now Keith is on the edge, gets the unarmed recovery, now swapping over to the spear. Himway onto the katars himself, gets hit by the side air, and now Himway trying to work his way back. He does manage to get the wall touch, the weapon throw coming in clutch for Himway. The recovery, neither of them connecting, tries to go for the side air. Another side air again, the weapon throw tries to go for that recovery. The axe side air is going to take the stock, and now it's 1-1.
Yeah, wow. I mean, it was definitely a tale of the two different weapons with Keith. At the start, it was all spear, and he was kind of getting messed up by the guitars, and he switches to the axe and stops playing this grounded, neutral-like game and starts working on these aerials, these down airs, these Sairs, Nairs, and it just started to build up so much damage. Himway wasn't able to adjust in the game and was able to find that axe Sair and take a fairly early stock. Definitely a nice adjustment mid-game for Keith on this Brand, and he's going to stick with it. Himway wants to stick with the Asuri too, and I think we're going to see a lot more axe out of Keith. He might have learned that the aerial game from this axe has been playing very well into Himway. Himway wants to go right back to Demon Island. Both players seem to really like this map, or at the very least, it might be a bit of a neutral site where neither of them wants to play on an Enigma or a Brawlhaven that might favor one weapon over the other and just go right to Demon Island. But I feel like these ground pounds from Himway are just a little scary. And you could see that in that last game. Both players wanted to recover so high. Fairly scary.
Oh, hang on. Look, I'm going to have to take notes from that. Okay, Himway is now sending Keith up into the sky. Nice sideline air, goes for the recovery again, but Himway dodges out of it. And now there's a lot of damage built up onto Himway. Downlight dare, ooh, try to pick up the dodge, but just managing to evade it. Now both of these players going back into the neutral. Now it's Himway with the sword. He's going to try and hope for some downlight side airs. There's a side air there. Ground pound, Keith had nothing. Tried to go for a GC downlight on the unarmed, but Himway was just able to avoid it. He got the side air. Keith didn't have much. The side signature, which was very nicely reacted there by Himway. And now Keith trying to go for these weapon throw engagements. There's a side light from both parties. Now they just keep themselves into the game here. Nice NSIG, tries to go for a second one. Down like ground pound, doesn't connect. And now Keith is in an unfortunate situation. A lot of damage has been built up onto him. Tries to go for that side sig on the sword pickup, but it was nicely dodged by Keith, and the weapon throw after the dare on the axe is going to clean up the stock. But there's a lot of damage here on Keith's stock, so he's going to have to be careful.
Yeah, Keith, I mean, he had to find that there. He had to stop the bleeding somehow because Himway was running away with the game. Finally, has started to pick up some nice damage on this axe, and in a percent where he might be able to survive some of these stray hits from sword, but at this point, a Sair, a D-Light Sair, something will do it. Keith in a lot of trouble, but dare, not what you're looking for if you're Himway, not able to find anything off of it, no dodge. Oh man, Keith committed to all there, but that would have been such a nice KO, not able to find it, and gets knocked out himself. Sword recovery as he moves on to this final stock, but he made up some really nice ground and might opt to look for this axe to clean up the ground again and turn this into an even game. Himway has been hit quite a bit so far and hasn't been able to connect on anything onto this final stock of Keith. Keith loves slide charging some of these signatures, just looking for something with this axe, but it hasn't been working out. It's a really tough position to be in if you're axe, to find these stray hits instead of a KO confirmed, but still such a strong weapon. These stairs, something like that, if he's able to connect on it, will do it. Enlight, not gonna find it. Really wants this right now, and it will do it. He'll catch a landing with an axe there to move this into an almost even game from where it was looking really rough at the start.
Yeah, Keith had to, you know, try and be really patient to try and find that KO option, especially on Axe. As Himway picks up the dodge, the recovery isn't enough to get the KO just yet, as Himway putting himself onto the sword, hoping for a downlight stare, maybe a downlight recovery as well, keeping the weapons away from Keith, priming the sword as well, tries to go for a GC side signature, but Keith gets the punish in, but it puts himself off stage, and now Keith going back to where the weapon is. He does pick up the axe, sidelight nair, tries to find some more, but nothing for him is available. Nice side air there again. Downlight side air, that's going to take the stock for Himway, and he is 2-1 up against Keith.
Yeah, Himway just locked it down. I mean, Keith was not able to connect on it. He made it so close on that last stock, but once Himway respawned, he caught a dodge in with guitars, and it was basically wraps. Like, Keith was in KO percent already. He just got hit too much. Really unfortunate that his dodge got red there, but hopefully trying to move back into this game 4 with a different mindset, because it looked pretty rough for him for most of that game. Still able to find a lot of these hits on this axe, though. It's definitely been what's working best for him. This aerial axe game, and a lot of these commitments that he's been doing out of these sidelight nairs have been working out, but I really like to see that. Particularly, I would characterize Southeast Asia as having a lot of that. A lot of these commitment on hit, right? You can hit sidelight nair, that's a true combo, but someone like Keith will follow it up with some kind of really hard dodge in or up read that, I mean, they just know. Like, sometimes it feels like they're just in their head. So hopefully Keith is able to find some of those, turn this into a game 5. I would love to see it, but Himway so far has been looking dominant with these guitars.
Yeah, it's looking really dominant here at the moment. And Himway at the moment, he is got himself probably in the mental advantage. A nair recovery, trying to find a second nair, but Keith gets the punish as he puts himself down. Sidelight nair, he does not connect, which we've not really used to seeing from Keith. He's usually very potent on those sidelight nairs, but he does finally miss one. At the moment, damage is a little bit more even. Keith on the spear now. Sidelight goes for the nair, which catches the dodge, but doesn't do anything else. Himway was put off stage for a little bit. The weapon throw into the pickup there. Down Sig. Keith doesn't have anything else to be able to make his way back to stage. And the turn of events, and Himway is looking so clean right now.
Oh, what a stare. Yeah, I can't believe he didn't get the touch there. His feet were on the ground. And again, how does Himway not get the touch there? It was so close, right on the wall. His hands were right there. He was just hanging right off of it, couldn't find it. And I mean, this game has become fairly even. Both players losing their stocks pretty early to some very goofy interactions. And now, all of a sudden, you have to go into this with a fresh mindset. And Keith so far has done a great job of it. He's been connecting on these axe hits, this aerial game, trying to find something. Sidelight not able to catch a nair because he hit it so close. He goes for a D-light, and Himway wants to, like, break neutral a lot of times. And Keith, I mean, just a couple neutral wins for him would put him in a nice advantage, but so far he isn't able to do it at all. And he's overcommitting on some of these, and now Himway has turned this game around with the sword. A D-light stare is gonna do it. I can't believe that KO'd. And Himway takes a nice lead. It just feels like games go from, like, Keith winning to Himway just cleaning it up in an instant.
Yeah, that's definitely how it feels for the most part, but Keith at the moment, he's gonna have to try and, you know, look for these punishes, try and play a lot more patiently. But as the dodge gets picked up, he tried to pick up a second one. That N-Sig is not enough to get the KO just yet. One more of those, just go for a straight side air. That's gonna get the KO. Keith, in potentially his last game on the winner's side, is in orange, and Himway is looking so good right now. The neutral, he's able to bait out Keith, try and, you know, just force an attack, force a punish. force a dodge to be burnt, and Himway is able to get the complete punish for it 99% of the time. There's the downlight side air. See, again, avoiding that downlight. Try to get that anti-air happening on the axe, did Keith, but Himway avoids it, gets the punish for it, puts himself in an advantage, or, maybe puts himself into the neutral as well. Now Himway onto the katars, throwing it away, gets up the sword, downlight Sand, not enough to get the KO just yet. Himway onto the katars, dodges through the down tick, and again, now picking up the sword, downlight recovery, that's going to get the KO, and Himway 3-1 puts himself into winner's final.
He could not get away with that game. Very well played from Himway. He would take a lead and just run with it. It did not feel like Keith could get back into games when he was already down. So definitely a fairly dominant 3-1, right? I think coming out from Himway. Although Keith definitely looked good for one game, but a lot of it was just Himway just taking advantage with a lot of these, like this grounded sword game and some of these guitar strings when he needed it most to find that extra damage with guitars. He somehow pulled it out. So very well played from Himway as he moves into winners finals. Seed 1, definitely where he feels like he belongs. We move into our next game. We've got Vortex and Thought, I believe.
Yeah, Thought. Yeah.
So
Thought is definitely one of the more, you could say, engaging players, but both of these players, they do have their legends selected. Vortex still on that Asuri, and it is Thought on the Aang, which mirrors the abilities of Wushang. So I'll be interested to see how this goes from here. It is winners semi-final in a major, and Thought is looking. Look, it's gonna be. I was lucky enough maybe a couple weeks ago to cast Thought in a twos tournament that happened, and he's definitely a very engaging player. The Aang is something that he's pulled out multiple times before, and we're gonna see how it goes here in the 1v1s, where Thought, because of the teammate that he had to clutch up a lot of 1v2s and then 1v1s in that sense, and he ended up winning the tournament with his teammate, which I believe was his IRL friend. But at the moment we are seeing just both of these players just waiting to go into the map selections. But I'm gonna be interested to see how the spear and the gauntlets play out for Thought. It's definitely a character that he can play. He has a level 45, I believe, a level 45 Wushang. So it'll be close. That much I can say. It'll definitely be close between these two.
yeah, and again with the Asuri, I think very nice to see. Particularly, and it's kind of a night and day matchup for Katars into these two Wushang weapons with Katars into gauntlets, definitely very Katar favored, but with the spear it can be a lot of trouble for Katars. So I think it may also just be a bit of a comfort thing for Thought, looking for whatever weapon he's more comfortable in the situation. As he finds the gauntlets first, and trying to find these weapon stars, but not able to do it. Both players just scrapping a little bit, able to find a weapon and trying to take a small advantage that you can just aggress with. Thought so far has taken a bit of damage, but wakes out of the Katar end light, and that's kind of important to pay attention to what players will do out of these startup moves, these end lights and these D lights out of Katars, because it shows how the set plays out. Will the Katar player go for more just straight up options as he catches the dodge?
Whoa.
Doesn't opt for a recovery there, hoping for a dare that might have cleaned up and do a lot of damage. Perfectly dodges the sword D-light, is able to find a punish. Pretty impressive spacing from Thought out there. And the side signature again just catches Vortex in an awful position, just so close to the stage. Wasn't able to find it, overcommitted a bit. Doesn't find Vortex, who had no options left, just disarms himself, throws both of the weapons away. Would probably like an unarmed fight in that situation, but gets side signatures for his trouble, and Vortex takes the stock back from a pretty sizable deficit.
Yeah, this being Aang's home ground, you would want for Aang to be able to, clean up the stock here as soon as possible. Goes for the ground pound, but Vortex avoids it, and now, the recovery there from Thought doesn't get the KO just yet. But now both of these players are just trying to transcend. There's a recovery there from Thought, but he is pretty damaged at the moment on this stock. So he's gonna have to try and work his way around a lot of the Katars that Vortex has to offer. And if you're playing Gauntlets against this, and even Spear to a certain extent, it's not the prettiest matchup, especially for Gauntlets. As the Ensign comes out, that's going to be able to get the KO, and Vortex is an entire stock up almost.
Yeah, I mean, wow, it's so fast. Just finds an offstage interaction into the GC neutral signature, and I mean, Thought has to play at such a disadvantage now. I mean, on a map where it can take forever to find this KO, it's so hard to make up ground and turn this into an even game. Whereas Vortex on these guitars, he loves that. He wants to find these guitar hits that he's able to turn this into a full stock advantage, and so far has done such a great job of it. I mean, Thought already quite damaged on this final stock. The game was even earlier, but now Vortex just looking so good, just running, catching these landings with sidelights, showing Thought to be scared, and finally shows him a reason why he had to be, as he finds the down signature. He takes a lead up a full game.
Yeah, he takes the lead, and it's looking really good for Vortex. A lot of the guitars that Vortex has to offer against Thought is real. It just runs straight through Thought. He doesn't really have an answer for it at the moment, which he's gonna have to try and find a way to adapt to that. Guitar's in its advantage state, especially against the weapons that he has, is very good. So Thought has to try and find a way to just keep it to neutral. Try not to get hit by especially any Qatar sidelights. You know, any Qatar sidelights or even any Qatar nairs. Qatar nair is very dangerous, especially with the fact that you can get the true combos off of it. So it'll be really dependent on what you're able to pull out against either of these weapons. Oh no, double downlight recovery from Vortex, and it's looking really interesting at the moment. Both of these players just kind of transcending back into the neutral game right now. Both trying to use their movement to try and get away from each other. There's another neutral light there from Vortex, which puts Thought off stage. That was a nice dodge, managing to delay the GC downlight. Now the side signature does connect, and Vortex, much like game one, has a decent advantage at the moment. He is into the orange, but it will take a little while for especially the weapons of Spear and Gauntlets to be able to get the KO.
Yeah, and I mean, I've noticed Thought loves these wake-ups, and Vortex has been attuned to them. He's clearly aware of what Thought wants to do out of his stun, and has gotten a lot of these extra follow-ups that normally you wouldn't be able to do, these sidelight end lights on swords, and a lot of these bonus hits for guitars, and it's turned into a sizable advantage in this second game. As Thought is like trying to find some nice stray hits that he would be able to find the KO with, but Vortex's spacing just seems so good, especially around this platform. How many options he has to his advantage. Finally able to find the ground pound is Thought, but a pretty nice lead for Vortex right now, and it would just take a couple of extra hits if he's able to pick up the sword so far already on the guitars. Bit of a struggle to KO in this weapon, but with Thought as damaged as he is, I'm not sure it's that much of an issue for Vortex. You can afford to take a couple hits as long as you're able to find this recovery, some kind of read. Opts back for the sword, hoping to find the KO much more efficiently. Sword very good for that recovery. Not going to do it. Probably one of the highest ceilings in the game, this map, but Thought can't live forever. I mean, these Sayers, he's getting pushed to the side, gets edge guard, and recovers the stage, gets D-Light Sayered for his troubles, and Vortex a full stock lead in game 2.
Yeah, we're seeing that Vortex's sword has been doing wonders for him, but what's really been standing out in this match for me is the Katars of Vortex, because Thought just hasn't been able to get out of a lot of the sidelights and a lot of the reads that Vortex has to offer, and that's a nice neutral signature though, which does end up getting the KO, so we are in a bit of an even spot here. So if Thought is able to adjust himself, able to adapt against, Thought's playstyle, try and get away from him. Oh no, does manage to get the touch, but now has nothing. Avoids the neutral signature, manages to get the wall touch, tries to get his way back. There's a nair there from Thought, tries to find something else, but nothing untoward it. There's a neutral light from Vortex, tries to find something else. Ground pound does come out, but nothing else. Downlight tries to go for the double, but Vortex dodges through. There's a neutral air again. Tries to find another one, but can't afford it. Downlight does get the Sair, though.
Vortex has turned on the aggression, and Thought does not seem to be able to handle it so far. I mean, when he brought the game back to neutral, D-Light Sair dropping. Would have KO'd the side signature. He catches the landing. A really nice lockdown from Vortex, because Thought brought it back to a completely even game, and Vortex completely changed the way that he was playing. He brought out some aggression, especially off stage. That sword ground pound. I mean, it put the fear of God into Thought, and it was a struggle for him. And Vortex was able to clean up the game off of it. So definitely a really great adjustment as we move into game 3. Vortex with all the advantages, all the momentum, up 2-0, and Thought with his back against the wall. We'll see what he does. It's only a drip switch for the moment. Still onto the Wushang. So right to Enigma, hoping to find a lot of these platform movement to fly around the screen and hopefully pick up some advantages on your opponent. But I mean, both players with such a wealth of access to it, and we'll see with Thought in these wake ups if he continues to do it, because Vortex seems very apt to what Thought is doing out of hit stun so far.
Yeah, at the moment the map switch is a little bit interesting. We're going from 2 platforms to 3, and the KO boxes are a bit smaller, especially with the ceiling. So downlight recoveries are definitely gonna KO a lot earlier for, you know, all 3 weapons that have it true. Unfortunately, Katars is the only party out. So whoopsie daisies. I mean, imagine if downlight recovery was true on Katars. That would be a little bit nuts. There's a sidelight recovery, though, instead, which picked up the dodge. A second recovery there, but it's not going to be able to get the KO. Down signature gets the punish. Sidelight and light tries to read the dodge, but guesses the wrong way. Gets away from that recovery. Now, tries to go for the ground pound. He gets hit by the weapon throw instead, but another weapon throw there. Now Thought is in a dangerous spot. Doesn't want to get hit by any nairs. Does get away from a downlight recovery on the unarmed. Second recovery is going to take the stock. And for the first time this set, Thought has a lead.
So smooth off those platforms. Able to find the recovery. Vortex holding down. And Thought with a breath of life into this set. I mean, his back's against the wall. It's a very tough situation. If there was any time to make this comeback, it would be now. And generally, on a reverse 3-0, the easiest game to win is this one, where your opponent doesn't have to make any adjustments because they just won the last one. They're not thinking about it. So this might be the perfect opportunity for Thought to make this comeback. But, I mean, Vortex has put in a lot of hurt onto this first stock. He might be able to turn this back to an even game, and he does. He finds the sword recovery. Both players finding these recoveries off the platforms, it's kind of what Enigma is best for, because you can just stand on the platform and dash off them, and you can find the recoveries so effectively. So far, though, Thought has built up a lot of damage. These sidelight and neutral signatures, I mean, he's catching a lot of these landings with the sidelights, and Vortex doesn't have an answer for it so far. Finally able to get some hits, but Vortex has so much ground to cover. He's got a whole mountain to climb, and so far, standing at the top of that mountain is Thought with this spear, but Thought starting to take a lot of hits. In a scary position off stage, wants to get right back to neutral. Just terrifying situation for him, finally able to do it. But now the game is even. He took so much damage for it, and now Thought in such a tough position. Signature not gonna work. It's sent really far, but doesn't get Saired again. And now Vortex right back to neutral, finds the side light, but no follow-up, no jump read, no hold down, nothing. The Sair will do it. Dashes right back in, and Thought again holding on by a thread to this lead in game 3.
It was a good punish, to be fair, because Vortex got the sidelight. Oh, that's a down sig. Not going to be able to get the KO, though. Tries to go for the weapon throw. GC downlight into the unarmed recovery. Is not going to get the KO just yet, but now Vortex is swapping onto the sword. That recovery will finally get the KO. I expect Vortex to swap over to the Katars, you know, try and get a lot of that damage build up with 2 very clean stocks here. One for either player. And now both of them try and transcend into the neutral. The recovery not able to get the connection. If Thought is able to take the game here, he's going to have to try and avoid almost a lot of these sidelights and these nairs, which he can't really be getting hit by a lot of them as he does. Gets hit by the sidelight end light. Another end light again. Does get a GC, but nothing else. Now Vortex swapping over to the sword, hoping for some downlight combinations soon. As Thought has him on the edge, does get a nair, can't find the recovery. Now Vortex keeps himself to center stage as he sends Thought off stage. Downlight side air, that's gonna get the KO, and Vortex, as so close as Thought was to being able to take that game, he puts himself into winner's final in emphatic 3-0 fashion.
Very unfortunate. He definitely seemed to have the answers in that game, but just didn't work out in his favor. Vortex able to make the small comeback required to take that and go into winners finals facing off against Himway. So very well played from Vortex. A clean 3-0 from him. First two games looked very dominant and pretty nice set overall with but a lot of what I saw are these wake ups out of thought out that were getting punished. And it started to work in the third game. It was too little too late, and Vortex was able to clean it up. So a good, nice 3-0 from Vortex. Well played from him as he looks towards winners finals.
Yeah, that will be it from us. If you guys haven't seen the bracket, do exclamation mark bracket. But to give you an update, Tiger has moved through into the loser side of top 8. He is waiting on STC or Goomba. Penny has defeated Reaper 3-1, and LaPlum has beaten Star 3-0, and they're playing out their LaPlum and Planning at the moment playing out their matches on to the loser side of the bracket. But that will be it from us for now. My name is That Jerry Boy. It was a pleasure to cast an official major, which was pretty cool. First time for me. And Serge, do you have any final words?
Well, good luck everyone in top 4 and top 8 elimination side, and it was a pleasure to cast with you as well. Definitely a very fun tournament so far.
All right, we shall see you later. Goodbye.